What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Above me, which is usually the case, Olivia. And below me, not usually the case, is Amy. From a geographical location, that's usually the case. Forget it. Folks, welcome to the show. We had a great weekend. You made it one. Had an awesome time with Leroy, Amy, and myself. You guys raised a crap ton for Olivia's birthday. And then almost $1,000 the other day, almost in the same week. Pretty impressive. It's great. So we can't thank you enough and appreciate it. The show, something feels different. I'm not sure what it is, but I got a feeling about something. And we're going to run with it. You're listening to Still Point, STIILPOINT, the Don't Unfriend Me band. I think that's what was most surprising for people at the photo shoot. They're like, you have a band? I'm like, yeah, we have a band. And they're like, holy crap. Like, we've had a band since we've had 7 followers, and 3 of the band members were the followers, which is
exactly.
It's kind of cool. Anyway, what are we talking about tonight? Swatting. It's dangerous. Got some more information on that. Bill Burr went woke, and he's going to be broke soon. Keeps his shit up. I don't know what happened to Bill Burr, but TDA or Tren De Aragua judge should be ignored, and Trump should emulate Abraham Lincoln. Tell you a little bit about that. I mean, he's already in the 1783 law. Why not go ahead and emulate Lincoln? Things are about to explode. Why the left caused this. Everyone will be deported. Just everybody. Everybody's going to be deported. Catholics, dogs, children, cats, hysteria. And where we're going, we're not going to need roads. See you in 3 minutes.
I'm excited to see where I get to go.
Yes. Where we're going, we don't need roads. I want to apologize. The lower thirds where that AI picture pulls up, I've got all the other artwork done, but that video didn't cut correctly. It overwrote the main one, which was not good. And I would have had to have redone all of it, which would take about 4 to 5 hours. So it'll be up tomorrow. I've got it saved. I apologize, but you're going to have to deal with the AI version. But we'll show you all the photos.
Being so confused, you feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news.
You know, and I know it's not the show yet, but my daughter came up and we were talking, and I said, "So, how do you feel about the show and where it's going?" And she's like, "You know, when it first started, I was like, this isn't going to make it," and you know, because my daughter's always honest, and she's like, but then when I came on the other night and I saw the amount of comments and how many people are actually involved from all different channels, so for her to say that is like, you know, like Moses and Mount Sinai, something to that effect. I was pretty impressed. So that's all the validation I need. Anyway, we'll be right back.
We can talk about it all as friends, and if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me, 'cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth, and if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Hey, Hog Twins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast, at The Dumb Show and his website, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What is going on, everybody? I've got a little something to show everybody. Maybe if I can get this thing open. 1, 2, and nope. Yep, there it is. There it comes. This is exciting. I mean, seriously, this is totally exciting. Are we ready for it? Here it is. Embrace it. Because the Ash Kicker shirt is available right now. Yes, Ash Kicker, ashes to ashes, woke to dust. The killer puppy. Available right now. And if you buy and you have an interest in buying both, could you grab my watch, please, from the upstairs? If you're interested in buying both the Yenny shirt and the Ash Kicker shirt, we have both. And I'll be happy to share a discount with you if you want to. Just ask Olivia. And we will make sure that you get, thank you, son, an amazing discount. I think we're doing 15% off because we're lovely and kind people. But you can get the Ash Kicker shirt. Liv, what do you think about the Ash Kicker shirt?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
It's not bad. Looks pretty good.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I just want to chime in really quick because I got to spend some time with your dog this weekend, and
yes,
I adore her. Like, she truly is a very special dog. Like, she's so cool. I really love her. You should definitely, I know you have a lot of free time. So I was thinking, like, you should be filming her every day as well and get her
oh
her
my
own.
God.
Like,
listen, if you would have followed the rules, she was a cool dog until like all weekend. I literally had to start using the cattle prod to get her to listen. I said, "Bzzz, come here." I'm not just kidding. She was fantastic. But Ash Kicker is available in tank top, in t-shirts, and sweaters. Also, a little bit of an update is the Constitution books went out today. So there were people who wanted autographs, and we got all of them autographed and sent out. We had 2 runs. One is we had a ton of them ordered that just wanted, all we had available were 2 autographs, which was Olivia and myself. But then Amy and Leroy, all of us together, some people requested all 4, so we got that done. We've been asked by many people to have some of the photographs that we did do, like all 4 of us autograph a photo. We will be happy to. And, we're all about trying to be as humble as we can and make sure we give back. So we'll be charging $49.95 per autograph. But the good news is you can get the photo for $2.99, but $50.
Pictures turned out awesome.
Pictures, we'll
good.
Yes.
It was a good time.
Yes. We also, during this process, received a little award. Amy, do you want to explain this award to everybody and what we got?
yeah, so you guys were so fantastic when we had my friend on who was supporting the police officers during the inauguration, and we got them so many donations and everything like that. I think we were like the highest. Our show helped them build like the most like one night production of money, and I don't remember what the grand total was, but it wasn't what they wanted. But it doesn't matter. We got a lot of officers fed, and so the DC department sent us this nice little plaque as a thank you. I thought that was really, and a patch too, which I thought was pretty cool. So
yeah, the patch is right.
Oh yeah,
there. So sitting right up there, we get too much stuff. So eventually, we either need a bigger place, which is something we're very much considering, or things are going way fast. Like I feel like, okay, so in hockey, it's all about seconds in hockey, and it's all about 5-minute shifts and for 5-minute increments in the game. And you got 60 minutes, and the ebbs and flows go about 5 minutes to 10 minutes, and it can change the way of a game. And it just feels like we're on we've got momentum, I guess is what you would say. And it's like played it meh, first period, second period meh, and third period, first 10 minutes, it's just been going really well. So I think we had a great chance to kind of sit down, have some conversations, and find out where we want to go as a company. And I think at this point we're in the go big or go home mode. And I think doing the photo shoot was our focus in order to achieve some of that. And I think the connections we got from this are going to make a huge impact on the show. Hey, Liv,
Yes.
3 inches to the left, please. My left.
Nope.
Yeah, thank you. So here's some news. Barry Morgenstein, who is the amazing photographer, and I was gonna put this in overtime, but we're just gonna do it now and get it done with because a lot of people want to see the stuff. It's just this guy has photographed everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. I mean Bigfoot too. I mean it's just this guy's gotten presidents, prime ministers, premiers, kings and queens, rock royalty, Hendrix, Page, Gilmore, ridiculous stuff, and all the celebrity that you can think of. So when we walked in, it was interesting. So first thing is Amy was in her van or in her gas guzzling vehicle and doing red therapy. So
Red light therapy.
Whatever. Red therapy, basically drinking.
No.
So and Olivia and I and Leroy were trying to find a place to eat. And so we pulled in and we're like, okay, well, there's nothing. Let's go to Starbucks. And then I got this crappy bento box and we ate next to the trash cans. And Amy's like, what a choice to eat here. And I'm like, this is just reminds me of overseas. This is actually very luxurious. So we pull in and this itty little bitty thing, probably 5'4", and has short haircut like Dorothy Hamill.
No, she was shorter than me. She was like 5 foot.
Okay, so
maybe.
she's 5 foot,
Yeah.
and Mary Lou Retton basically.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hi, excuse me, we're closed for a photo shoot today." And of course, I always love that, right? Because I'm just like, I feel like Julia Roberts. Like, you made a big mistake, huge mistake. So I look at her and I said, "Yeah, I know, we're booked." And she's like, "You're Matthew," and I said, "Yeah, I am." And that's exactly the way I started it out. And it was like immediately, like, I'm like, don't put the cloth, stop it, be nice. And after that, it was just fantastic.
She was great. Her name was Cynthia. She was
Beautiful,
fantastic.
beautiful, kind lady, amazing human being, very talented. We want to get her on the show. And she's like, "Why do you want me? You should get these people." I said, "Because you're great."
She's awesome.
So
Yeah.
what did you think? Olivia, Amy, first of all, it wasn't fair for the guys. Because the guys, all we did was shit, shower, shave, and get in the vehicle. Ladies had to strip down all like lacquer, paint thinner, do womanscaping, whatever. And they had lotion, and it looked like they just basically saw the backside of a thermonuclear bomb that went off, because they just had to strip off all those coatings of paint, and they had to walk around like that, and they look beautiful, of course, but there's a difference when you have your stuff on and then you don't. So we had to do nothing. They couldn't do their hair. They couldn't do anything. So you guys walk in. What was your thoughts? What were your feelings about the whole process?
Amy, I'll let you go.
Yeah, gosh, yeah. When we saw Cynthia, like she was like just walking in, and they have, like the whole craft table, like the treats and all the stuff. So it was just very like welcoming. Deborah was just like this. I would like to describe her, but I don't know how to. She's just like a powerhouse, like everything about her. She was there, like help everyone with like posing and just making you feel comfortable. She had like the best smile, the best hair. She was just gorgeous. And I just loved literally everything about her. She was just so wonderful. And then the hair, we did hair and makeup. It was phenomenal. Everything was just great. Barry was wonderful. I'm totally spacing out on the gentleman that was helping Barry. Oh my gosh, what was his name?
The lighting viewer helper.
Yeah, he reminds me of Jason.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, and I'm horrible with names, and that's why I suck at that.
But he was just so, for everyone was like so genuinely friendly. just genuine, like a genuinely like good people, and it was just a really fun experience. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little intimidating walking in. Like it's like a, you know,
Oh yeah, everyone's like a
you
model
know,
and stuff.
like the Deborah girl, she's a model and an actress, and I was like, you know, the full makeup and hair, and yeah, it was a little intimidating at first, but everyone was really friendly. Deborah was really cool. And I mean, when we went, Barry gave us all hugs. So, I mean, immediately felt at ease. So, but it was great. It was, I had a lot of fun. I haven't done modeling since high school. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I had a blast. And I felt really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you looked it too. I'm hoping I can do this. It's going to be hard because this thing isn't designed to do what we're trying to let it do. Oh, don't do this. Okay, whoop, we're getting this out of here before
I
we
will
crash.
say this too with Barry, because he obviously is perfect at his craft. Like he knows exactly how to do what he's doing. But he was so open. If we were like, hey, can we try this? Hey, can we try that? Like he was like, absolutely, let's do it. He was never like, no, that's not going to look good. Or, he was just like very much like go with the flow. He was wonderful. Everything was just a wonderful experience. It was awesome.
Yeah, Barry's a good dude. So we got some news on that. He's going to be coming on the show, and we were talking before this, and he's going to be coming on. So he's going to do a recorded show and a live show, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And what's great about it is that he gave us so many looks. We wound up doing 936 pictures, and we kept about 325, which is unheard of. Olivia, I said she looked so damn good. I hadn't seen her look like that since our wedding day. And it's not that she didn't look incredible since times like that, but it was like the wedding day was like the most beautiful I had seen her. And I'll be honest, I think she looked better, if not just as good.
Thank you, dear.
This time. Amy looked wonderful. It's just, Leroy. Oh, shit. Leroy killed it. Had his chief uniform, and he looked fantastic. The lighting, the group shots. And what's funny is, like, none of us had been in the same room together. So it all just kind of made sense, though. And we just kind of hit it off. There was no awkward period. There was no, like, trying to get to know each other. It was just, it's like the shirt said. It felt like we were friends, and it went well. So it was a really, really good time. Be happy to, I know Bobby wants every one of them. She's like, I want every picture. Send them all to me. And, of course, we have no problem sharing the photographs with anybody. That's Barry.
There's Barry, yep.
Yeah. And he's hilarious. In the middle of the shoot, we started diving into Hamas and Palestine and Zionism, and I'm like, I'm with you, dog. And we had a good conversation about it. He watched the show with Leroy and I the other night, and watched all of it, all 2.5 hours, and was like commenting the whole time, and said he really liked the product and wants to come on the show. So we're going to do that. But he also has a lot of good friends in the industry, from Tonto from 13 Hours. He's going to talk to Tonto. They're really good friends. And he knows Chief Gallagher, a lot of the team guys, and a lot of politicians. And I just have a feeling we made not only friends together, but that Barry and his crew appreciated us, and we certainly appreciated them. And we made lifelong friends with them too. So I have a feeling that crew will be, kind of being a part of our show for a while. So
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
The one where we're serious.
Well, everyone's like, Olivia doesn't look happy. I'm like, oh, trust me, she's happy.
Oh, it's supposed to be, it's not the resting bitch face, but it's your serious look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there were other signs. Anyway, so it was great. It was amazing.
There were some times sorry to interrupt you, but I have to say it now because you brought it up. But there were some times at the shoot that we all felt we should leave and just let Matt and Olivia have some time.
There's no doubt that we can be affectionate. You know, I don't know what else to say, but there was no. It was comments like "Holy shit!" But even Barry would look at the shot and be like my God, and you know, and then when Amy stood up, one of the most exciting things for me is I like, and I meant this, and during my testimonial I said it, is Olivia and Amy needed this. Like Leroy and I didn't need this. I think they're going through a tough time. It's that age, and they're going through. I'm not going to speak for Amy. I'm going to speak for Olivia. Olivia is going through a lot of shit with menopause, and there was a point when she first got up there to do her sequence of shooting, which is just the sleeveless dress right here, and at the end of her shooting, the entire room applauded, and that's. Just see, like, if I could show you her first shot, you'll see it in her face. She's trepidatious, and by the second shot, her real side came out, and it was just so cool to see her enjoy herself so much and like just be proud and happy. That I thought it was pretty damn cool. So that's all. It was a great experience by everybody, and that's it. Olivia, what else you got to say about it?
It was awesome. I would love to do it again. It was nice to get pampered with the hair and makeup. And my makeup artist was awesome. She was real cool.
Oh yeah. She was, mine was, Amy and I shared, her name was Maureen, and she was Megyn Kelly's artist for years. And she, you know, I told her, I said, hey, kind of got a thing for Megyn Kelly from a professional level and would love to have her on the show. Just about ready to let you're about ready to see Blue Steel. There's Blue Steel. Just cha-ching. If you heard a sword come out of its scabbard when you saw that, that's exactly what I was looking for with the look. My best Brett Baer look. Yeah. So it was fun. It was a good time, and we're happy that you guys could enjoy it. You may have noticed that cover art for the show has changed, and we've updated our bio pages and a lot of our avatars and things like that. So it's about time that we did something like this. Alfonso, I'm sorry about your father-in-law. That's horrible, and I'm so very sorry to hear that happened this morning. So, Amy, final word on this before we move on, and would love to hear anything else you've got. And Olivia?
Yeah, I honestly, it was such a phenomenal experience, and I'm with Liv. I can't wait to do it again. And it was just really not just the photo shoot itself, but just having Leroy here with us and spending so much time together with everybody. And I know I was like a little busy with my kids too, so I didn't spend as much time as I had wanted to, but I really had to be there for my son. But it was just really nice to have everyone together. I really enjoyed everyone's company. I just like Friday's show was just such a lovely time, just hanging out Saturday with everyone. It was just a great experience all around. I'm just really grateful that we had that time together, and I'm just really look forward to hopefully having more of those days. I hope Leroy can come, you know, bring his wife, bring his family, like just come and hang out more often.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I
Liv?
want to say thank you to Deborah McLaughlin, the first one to get the Ash Kicker shirt. So
Oh, she got Ash
ordered,
Kicker?
yeah.
Good for you. And if you guys
ordered.
want it in anything else right now, I think it's always what happens. I'll make tank tops, hoodies, t-shirts, be like, I want a long sleeve. Just ask. I'll get it up. And yes, I know all the other female shirts, like we only have 20% in stock. The rest are sold out. They're not sold out. It's been a little busy. Now I have to go ahead and figure out how to schedule an entire marathon.
That's the next thing.
Chuck Pedersen is, you all, even the kids are amazing. Love to you all. Thank you, Bobby. You're amazing.
Thank you,
too,
Bobby.
Thank you.
So if you don't know, Chuck Pedersen's a listener, a longtime listener, and has donated quite a bit to the show and taken care of us behind the scenes. Even so much as that I got grumpy with him one night and still forgave me because he's a good dude. And he keeps letting me know, hey man, we need that marathon. We need to do that show, that special show, because he is going to match every donation up to $10,000 for a possible of $20,000. And I think Amy and I have decided that I think the best thing for us is to build a studio. And I think that's our goal. And we thought about I think we've got the celebrities. That'll start. We've made some really good connections with Barry, and we think we'll probably get a couple shows from that. And then that's when the ball starts rolling. Once you get a couple big A players and big names, then everybody wants to be on, and that's the way it works. So we're thinking we were going to rent a place or look for a property. And honestly, it's easier to build it on my property and to do a shed, power, and, mod it out, make sure it looks fantastic, get really good lighting in there. And we think that's going to be the step we're going to do, and probably the best thing that we can do.
I can add it to my list and contact at the HOA just to see. Yeah,
I mean, they can't stop us from making a shed, but it's the question of height and location and everything else. And what's great is that with our tree lines, the cool thing about our property is it's got a river running through it, and without that river, they don't have water. So they're not going to mess with us too much, but we only have so much space that we can work with because of the river. So
yeah, the HOA was a pain in the ass because I had to jump through hoops to get the play set in the backyard when we first moved in.
Yeah.
So that's the problem, is we had to get approval from our neighbors to put the play set in because it's an eyesore to neighbors.
It's pretty typical, honestly.
Yeah.
But send me your HOA docs. I'll read through the bylaws and see what you can do.
Yes, okay. I like that.
I will find them and get them sent over.
So we got a busy show tonight. We have a lot to do. I wish I could tell you that we don't, but we really appreciate everybody once again. The books went out with all the autographs. We've got we've got the Ash Kicker shirt up there ready to go. And I will have, by my commitment to you, I have 13,000 SKUs to do. So, and I can do some of those in bulk. So I really only have about 1,300, but I've got to re-upload everything, choose new shirts for all the women's stuff. So all of that will be back by the weekend. And then we're going to start cranking out some other stuff. We want to make sure that we have customs right here. So I'm creating a page where you can get the Don't Unfriend Me Friend shirt, and you put in your name, and it'll automatically make a Dumb Show Friend shirt for you too, because we're not just friends, you're our friends too. So we want to do that and some other things. So just want to let you know. All right. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes,
I have to get this for my kids with their nicknames on it. That'd be funny.
Kid shirts are coming. I've already ordered some of our basic, like the 13 star and things like that. I got to get them up, but we have a kids section coming too. So a lot of good things are coming down the pike. So let's get into the show. And I appreciate you guys giving us a little extra times, and we'll make sure that we probably extend a little bit as well. Swatting is real and dangerous. So you guys know that we had talked about this, and swatting is where you will find someone you don't like online, find out where they live, and then call in an anonymous tip that requires SWAT or armed engagement from a Leo unit, whether it be SWAT or sheriffs or city cops or constables, to respond in an armed conflict. And what an example would be is I find Mr. Democrat number 127,332 who I don't like, and I say this person lives at 1212 blah 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 blah. I cloak my phone number to be in some city, say Chicago. And then I go ahead and say that this person is holding his or her wife hostage by gunpoint and threatening to shoot his wife. And then the police show up in full riot and tactical gear, and they storm the house, hoping that this person is like me, who isn't going to ask questions when someone kicks in their door, who is going to draw and more than likely fire once that happens. And this situation has been happening all over. We saw someone tried to kill Nick Fuentes a couple months back. Someone just got a Alex Jones reporter was killed.
Jamie something.
Yeah, was murdered.
And it was the InfoWars one, yep.
Yep. A good friend of mine who is a fellow podcaster, he was swatted, and I won't go into who, because I said this the other night when we did the show, it's not my place to say. But swatting is no joke. Patrick says, love the dumb show. Patrick, you're new here. It's good to see you. Thank you. It's amazing how many new effing people we have that are coming out of the woodwork. It's really exciting. So, by the way, Twitter people, let's go. Let's get some Twitter love, please. If I can get Mel to go crazy. But it is, in my opinion, there needs to be some sort of legal ramification for this, and it should be that it's attempted murder.
Yeah.
Because that's the intent, right? Like if you call in a bomb scare and people are hurt, you're held accountable. If you yell fire in a theater, you're held accountable for malicious conduct and even manslaughter in some cases. If you call in a SWAT, it should be attempted murder at the least. Before we start commenting, I want you guys to watch this, and I've collected some. This is gonna be a fun show. We got a lot of cool stuff tonight. I'm really excited. I don't know. Sometimes things just happen where everything looks fun and exciting. This is a gentleman. I don't know him. His name is Larry Terrorist Taunton, and I don't care who he is. I don't care what his political affiliation is. When your name is Larry the Terrorist Taunton, it just might be that you're asking for trouble. It's like those jagoffs that say, don't beware of dog, beware of owner, and it shows a gun. If you shoot somebody on your property and that happens,
That's premeditated.
you're going to get your ass handed to you in court. So this is why I don't broadcast. I know on the show I do, but that's a little bit different. But anyway, here's a video of a very nice, lovely house. Open windows with a guy in full tactical with no markings that he's an officer that I could see. And I will be honest with you, if I was looking through this window and I didn't know that they were police officers, I probably would have been a few seconds from going full joy. And and at this point, if I see this on the camera, I'm putting down the pistol and I'm grabbing the AR. I see someone with a rifle, we're going to go play. And the moment he touched the door, if it would have been opened, I would have put this guy down. No joke. Watch this.
It's really shot everybody.
So you got 1, 2, 3. First of all, it's just terrifies me. People don't know what they're doing. So this guy's just flagging the shit out of this guy. All right, and then you got go ahead, Amy.
Wouldn't you be like, we can talk on all of our cameras, not just our doorbell one. We can speak through any of our cameras. So I would be like talking. This morning, they were marking our yard for somebody else. They're having work done. And I'm like, who is in our yard? Like, I didn't even catch him on camera. I caught him out of the corner of my eye out of the window. And I'm like, who's in our fucking yard? Excuse my language.
Right. It's all right.
And I'm like running to the door. And Jason's like, stop, wait a minute. I'm like, no, my kids are right here. Like, I'm going to go check it out. So
yeah. Well,
fine,
it was 2 a.m.
When you get the alert, I don't know. I have my camera alerts.
You do, but that doesn't mean, like, I can't have my phone on. If I have my phone on, I get 32,000 notifications on my phone a day, and that's because of the show.
But you can change it. I will show you. Yes, you can. You can do focus, and you can just do your camera alerts.
Amy, listen to me. I worked for Apple. I know what I can and can't do on that phone. Trust me. If I hit focus, it takes 2 rings to let me know. But if my notification goes, then I'm going to get 75 notifications from Vivint an hour because of the wind. I've changed my camera settings. I've done everything. It doesn't work. So no, I can't have my phone on, so I got to turn it down. So what I do is I rely on a few things. One is that if anyone even remotely turns anything in my house, I'm up. My alarm will go off. I will get notifications. There's outside notifications, and I've just trained myself to listen for it. But there's really no win situation. It's not that you're not right. You are right. For most people, it would work. But with Wind Hill and the amount of cameras that we have, it's always windy. And then also with Facebook, it's also, I get the vibration. And it's bzz, 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 bzz. I mean, it's ridiculous, my phone going off. But either way, this guy is armed. His dog kicks off and raises ears, which is good for that puppy. And this is the rest. Amy says, Matt isn't lying because I get a lot of those notifications too. Yeah, it's no joke. Like, when we just turned off for the show, and or whatever it was, and Leroy's like, "You're on the phone," and I said, "That's because I've got 20,000 notifications." That's not a joke. Like literally, just it takes me probably 30 minutes after the shows of scrolling just to get through the notifications on Facebook. So here's the rest. See right there. It's like you're checking the locks on the door. Why? Are you going to break it? That's breaking in. Do you have a warrant? So why are you attempting to break into my place? Now, if any of these officers are put down, this guy is well within his right to defend his home. And I can't even possibly believe how difficult it would be to stay off the trigger in this situation, because I'm hoping he knows that they're cops. Now, of course, you can get a notification on Vivint or whatever security system you have, like Amy says, but still, it's a little nerve-wracking. So much noise. I mean, why don't you just send up a signal flare that you're coming? So to me, that doesn't look like a wellness check. To me, that looks like,
We're here to take you down.
Yeah, you're creeping.
Exactly. I've never seen a wellness check with 3
right
officers and rifles ready to go.
Yeah, you're creeping and peeping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sending 3 guys. In this position for this female shooter, this is why females die all the time. I just like, lady, you can't do pie from this area, and you're just exposing yourself. He sees you before you see him.
Yep.
This isn't how you clear. This is not how you clear a closed door. This is not how you clear a glass door. Exposed, boom, just bam, 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 bam. What are you doing? You're not clear. You don't know what's over here in this corner. You don't know where this guy is. These guys, if this was an active shooter situation, I hate to say it, all 3 of them are dead. They're just dead. There's just, and so not only are you reckless in your approach, but you're reckless from the sense that your defensive mindset is shit, and you're putting yourself in danger. So not only are you possibly going to harm the person inside the house, but the way you're clearing this area is just roughshod at best. It's not good. So I know. Here's another one.
To watch.
It is. It's very frustrating. Well, what's this? What are you doing here? Yeah, you're in an untenable situation. Someone pops through this door. You're in a hallway. You have no cover. You have no escape. You have no exit strategy. Nobody's covering each other's 6. You aren't stacked, and anybody with a full mag, all 3 of them are gone. I mean, it's just crazy.
Well, and that's the kitchen right there, which anyone who is well armed is going to have several weapons in their kitchen. So,
Police department!
Now, this is the only thing they do right, but I wouldn't be standing in the middle of the window. I would be at least on a corner. I would be up against this adjacent retaining wall here. I would be here, even here, and hoping that this is clear. But yelling police department's the right choice. But what these cops have to know is that whoever's inside is going to be armed more than likely if they've arisen from a slumber.
Police department!
They have a dog.
Huh? We received a phone call here. Yes, sir.
Good for that dog. That dog.
That looks like Shepherd.
It is a shepherd. Yeah, and it's a Belgian shepherd. She is big. That's not a she. It's a he.
yeah, it looks like a boy. It's big.
Big boy. So now, this is great. Nice that everybody survived. Just doing their jobs. I doubt any one of these people voted for Biden or Kamala. Right? Yeah, don't blow your buddy's foot off there with that flag. Just right at his foot. Just frustrating. Frustrating to say the least. Little things. And then this guy had about 10 or 15 pizzas ordered to his house to probe the house to see, and the reason why they do that, to see if they're home. So what they do is that they go and order a pizza. Pizza guy tries to deliver. They go, we didn't order a pizza. It goes back. And then they call and say, hey, where's my pizza? And they say, well, you weren't home, or somebody was home, but it wasn't you. And oh, okay, but now you know they're home. So they do the pizza thing to kind of figure out if people are home, and then they swat them. Thoughts on this? I mean, this is why we went to the sheriff's department. This is why we added extra security. This is why, I mean, I called the detective of TAC response in Leesburg and tactical response here in Round Hill and Percival. And I said, listen, this is my name. This is who I am. This is my show. Two of them were like, oh yeah, we know who you are. How you doing, man? We watch your show. I'm like, oh, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. And the other one was like, we got you. We got a note here. If we get anything that it's a possible SWAT, we'll notify you by phone. And if it isn't something that we can notify by phone, when we come, we'll come loud. Like, we'll let you know we're there. And that was it. Happy Cappy says he's been swatted.
That's what I'm wondering is if I can call in.
Yeah, can you
Tell us
call
about your
in?
experience? That's interesting.
Yeah, tell us about your experience, man. 1-804-212-2208. I'll turn on the phone lines for you if you want to tell us what happened.
Probably give better advice on how to prevent it. I mean, I just want to chime in really quickly and just say, I don't know. You and I are friends of the local sheriff's department. They know where I live. They know that they are allowed access to my cameras if they want it. You could register with your local police department to allow them if you would like to. You don't have to, but it's certainly nice. They don't have full. They have to like be able to get. They don't have like a running stream of my cameras, but if they want
They're
it,
not getting my cameras, Amy.
I
Those
don't
are
mind.
I'm just teasing. But no, I'm not giving my camera access to anybody. But go ahead.
I will, and because I'm completely fine with that. I don't foresee any crimes happening on my tiny little street, but you never know. But they do have access to that. With that said, somebody did ask, what if they cut the power to your house? Would it turn off your cameras? So I think that would depend on your camera system. Mine personally would not be cut off. We have a different power source. Also, if you try to touch my camera, it will give you a flashing warning, and then it has this high pitch, like those like safety alarm things. Like it just starts blaring a safety alarm, which my neighbors love because it does happen to go off occasionally, not very often. I think it's happened twice, but so ours are tamper resistant, obviously not proof, but so I think it depends on the type you have. We have the Eufy brand, which not sponsored, but would love to be. So if you love Eufy. I think they're phenomenal. Love everything with their brand, but I mean, yeah, if you have like the ability to feel like you might be swatted, I would say register with your local department, get to know them, take them some brownies, and just say, hey, I'm a high profile figure, or I'm just a high target person because of X, Y, and Z. I'm not a threat. You can come check out what I have if you need to, whatever. So, like call me first to see if there's an active threat before storming my house. I don't know. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, I just my system is a little bit different. So if you cut power to my house, that's, first of all, you're putting yourself in a disadvantage. So good luck. Me in the dark is good luck. So yeah, you're not going to cut power to my house. You want to cut my Wi-Fi, that doesn't matter. We have cellular base. You want to do an EC jam, you can do that, but there are systems that you can't jam from within my house because we've prevented that. So there's going to be some active system, and worst case comes worse, if it loses signal to the tower, there's a 911 threat that power has been cut from the house and internet signal's been lost, and you're going to see 25 cops here in a matter of 30 seconds because I throw a rock at the cops here. Mm-hmm. And then if all that takes place, then you got to face me. Good luck. Just bring your lunch. Because I may not win, but I swear to God, I'm bringing down as many of you as I can. And then you have to go upstairs and face an armed arsenal of children and women and me.
And dog.
Good luck. Yeah, our house is built. Amy's seen our house. But the only way to get to us is up about 25 stairs to make an awkward right turn from an elevated position where we have all the corners. You're not going to win this fight. So just stay the fuck out of my house. That's what I would tell you. But if we get swatted, I already know what to do, and it's simple. We've got the same audible alarms. They 180 decibels. It's the sound of a shotgun. So we can see from 200 feet, 360 degrees. We have UV. We have FLIR. We have FLIR system, which allows us to see heat signatures behind other structures. So if you're hiding under our deck or hiding behind a trash can, we're going to be able to see your thermal bloom, and good luck. So so what do we do? How do you prevent this? And Amy said it the best, is that reaching out to the police officers, letting them know, but also what she said is having an active notification. And if you don't have the Facebook size that we do, and you don't live in Wind Hill where every single thing going off warns you, make sure your panel squawks, right? That's your job. And if you have a security system, the number one best thing you can do besides window trips or anything else is glass breaks. Glass breaks single-handedly are the number one alert that you have to have if you have a home security system.
And they're sensitive because the one downstairs in our, it's not a movie theater, but we've got full surround sound and the big TV and everything. We've had the alarm set watching movies, and a couple of times there's a specific sound and it sets off the glass break, and it sets off the whole alarm in the house. So we have to,
no matter what, whether your system's armed or not. So yeah, it's just the technology that's out there from laser trips, from motion detection technology, from window trips to glass breaks. Yeah. Like this house is, if you guys remember Poltergeist, where she's like, this house is exorcised from demons. That's our house. We've got, I'm not screwing around down here because these people are crazy, and I've got a lot of nutso schizos. So anyway, if you get swatted, this is what you do. We'll be back right after this.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled out funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time, and we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation, we appreciate you more than words can say.
Awesome. Appreciate it. We also have some interesting stuff happening here. Maureen Davidson. Is that our Maureen? I wonder if that's our cosmetologist / makeup artist, Maureen.
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, I didn't have her as my artist, so I didn't get a chance to meet her.
Yeah. Bill Burr. I know Olivia and I loved him.
Loved.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I used to love him too.
I'm not a fan of. I'm done with Bill Burr.
Okay, so this may change my mind too, because
it's been changed my mind just because of who he's been, and it's not because I'm boycotting him. It's just he's basically turned into SNL.
He's not funny anymore.
God,
he's not funny.
okay, I haven't seen him.
He's just a whiny little woke bitch.
Yeah.
No offense. Amy, your thoughts on him?
Yeah. So we had been like very loyal followers of his for forever, up until about 5 years ago, I would say. And even if, are you telling me to read that?
No, I'm telling. Whenever I'm quiet and I'm talking to the audience. So is it considered swatting if somebody calls a wellness check? If it's really a wellness check, yes. But if it's not, and they come heavy, yeah, it's a SWAT. Go ahead, Amy. I'm so sorry.
No, I was honestly loved him for so many years. He was so not woke. He made the funny jokes. He was the one that talked about like ashy knees and elbows as a white person. It was just, he used to be funny. And I think it's been about 5 years. It was just before COVID, I want to say. He started going a little woke. And we have given him a shot. Like every time a special comes out, we're gonna still watch it because maybe he just had an off one or whatever. No, he's just not funny anymore. We started his last special and did not finish it. We made it maybe 10 minutes. It was just so bad.
Yeah.
And it's sad. He
Yeah.
was awesome. He used to be awesome. He's not funny
He
at all.
was. Nope. Bill Burr does what his wife tells him to, probably smarter that way for him, or at least from home, but he's become a jackass. Otherwise, he's free to do what he feels and he has to. I am free to not follow him anymore. Terry, great sentiment. I saw that you had written that and I waited because usually we try to keep stuff for the segment, but it's not that he's not funny. It's that what he's talking about isn't funny. And he already pissed off a lot of people on the left for his jokes because he was always strong about going after everybody. And that's what I want from him. I want him to hit everybody. Yeah, you can make fun of Donald Trump. Of course, you've done that in the past. And Dave Chappelle does a great job of it. He rips on Trump a little bit, but he also throws him a bone once in a while. So here is Bill Burr doing his thing. I know I'm going to get copyright struck on this because this bald-headed douchebag probably needs the money more than I do. That's not true. He's actually doing fairly well. Holy shit. Glitch. Sorry. Here's the video. Watch this, and then we can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to do that, but it's still socially acceptable to shoot a missile in the general direction of somebody you're upset with. You're like, dude, there was like kids over there. This is my favorite response. Well, you know, they're using kids as human shields. It's like, well, you got to work around that. Jesus Christ, if I'm mad at my neighbor and I want to beat the shit out of him, but he's holding a baby, right? I wouldn't come in and try to punch him through the baby. Yeah, you go in, you know, you throw a hook, you sweep the legs. You do it on the lawn so the baby bounces off the grass, all right? There's fucking rules to this shit.
It's interesting that he points out these rules. Obviously, he's talking about Hamas and Israel. But the problem I have with this, I think everyone will have with this, is maybe you should tell Hamas to practice what they preach, because launching missiles in general directions to see how many people can be harmed that are non-militant combatants. Listen, we didn't start the fire, but the world's been turning and all that other bullshit. I don't understand. I really don't have a pony in this fight. I'm an avid supporter of Israel, always have been, from my time in working with IDF, and I've got no issue. There's some family history there. I've got a lot of friends, and I happen to know a really cool photographer who's a Jew. So just, maybe, just maybe, Bill is on the wrong side of this. And it's okay because it's supposed to be comedy, but you are empathizing with terrorists. Liv, your thoughts on his little skit?
Well, I think it's been a while since I've seen anything of his, because I looked at him and I was like, wow, he's gotten old. So he's aged, and I don't remember him looking that old. I think the last show we ever watched of his was when he was at Red Rocks. He did a show at Red Rocks Amphitheater, and we watched that, but I don't even know when that was recorded. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think you should be, I understand people want to make jokes and make light of the situation, but you are really defending Hamas. I understand that you're trying to do it, but you could have done it better. I mean, or just not done it at all. I mean, I know he's probably trying to kind of cross the line a little bit like Dave Chappelle does, but he's not Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle does it very smoothly, and Bill Burr is not, in my opinion.
I just think comedy has portions of truth in it. And when you sit here and apply such a gross, ignorant statement of Israel indiscriminately launching rockets, I want to just have people understand that if you take every modern day in the last 150 years of documented war, the civilian to military non-civilian kill ratio that is in place with Israel is the lowest in world history, at least from the time that we've been documenting it. Is it great? No, because civilians die in conflict. But the United States had far worse in Japan, far worse in Iraq, far worse in Afghanistan, Russia and Afghanistan, civil war, Bosnia Herzegovina, Syria. You can look at Japan versus Malaysia, Sumatra, the Indonesian islands, Australia, China, Korea. These are people who kill indiscriminately because civilian life is just as good as military casualties because it lowers people's initiative and lowers their will to want to continue to participate in conflict. Israel's not doing that because if you think that Israel couldn't flatten that place and turn it into a sea of glass, they can. So if they truly wanted to kill everyone in Palestine, or what is known as Gaza, not Palestine, they could have. Amy, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's not funny. I mean, most jokes about dead children are not funny anyway.
Right.
I mean, there are some, but it's the majority, like the
Sure.
majority are not funny. And we've been making fun of the Jews since my whole lifetime, from what I can remember, and that's always been socially acceptable. Why can't we make fun of the other sides? And Hamas is a terrorist group, and they actually did use their children as shields. They're actually raising their children to hate everyone except for their own terroristic ways. So,
That's a really good point.
you know, I'm not making light of it. I don't want to see dead children anywhere, but you know, unfortunately, we can't save everyone. I'm not Jesus, and I might pray for world peace every day, but the likelihood of that happening is pretty slim to none. And I realize that, and we got to fight the good fight. And I'm pretty confident I'm on the right side of this one, and I stand with Israel still.
We said that at the photo shoot. I said, does anyone want to let Jake Shields and Stu Peters and Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens, when they find out that Jesus was a Jew, wow, are they going to be really, really upset?
Yeah. Look at JD's comment.
What does it say?
These people calling conservatives Nazis while hoping for the death of Jews is next level hypocritical.
Right. Well, here's my question.
Very so.
Here's the number one white nationalist. Okay, first of all these people, Nick Fuentes, Stu Peters, Jake Shields, Candace Owens, I just want everyone to be very, very, even the Burn Pit podcast, who I know these guys very little, but my time at Spreely, and I like them. They're good people. They're not evil. I don't believe they're evil. They're good dudes. They like my posts. They're always kind to me, whatever. But they're not big fans of Jews. I tried to tell you this. The Jews are one of the most discriminated people in the world. And so are Christians. And the thing I'll tell you this is people say, well, why can't we say crap about the Jews?
Don't we always?
And why isn't it right? And why is every other class protected, but you can't say anything about you can say whatever you want about the Jews, but go and espouse racist shit against black people and watch what happens. But the real point of this, of why you can't, why you shouldn't, is because look at what's happened now that everybody is all like, hey, it makes money to hate Jews. Look at the amount of shit that's happening to Jews in our country. Take a look at the stuff that's happening to Jews all around the world. Because the Jews are kind of like, there's talking shit where you might go ahead and have some guy throw a bag of crap at your house, or toilet paper you, or throw a few bricks through your windows. Okay, that's next level harassment. The Jews will have 100,000 annihilated. This is what happens because it has happened 187 other times. Jews have been expelled all over the world for the last 3,200 years. And this is always, so when you guys say, well, any group of people that have been castigated out of society, 186, no, that is why you have to be careful what you say about the Jews, because this is the reaction. And so if we had the 3,200 years of African-American slavery, that every time African-Americans would go into any country, that they would be enslaved. After a period of time, there would be a group of people that said, okay, if you guys start enslaving black people, you're going to have to stop, because what happens is all the progress we make. Well, this is the story of the Jews. It kind of sucks when you have a Bible, the number one most spread book in the world, where it says the Jews betrayed Christ. It's not necessarily a good PR move. It's not good for marketing. And there's a lot of animosity and hatred for the Jews. So when people say that, it's like, it's freedom of speech. It's not freedom of speech, because your shit is leading to hate. And I'm not saying hate speech. I'm saying literally hate. It's leading to the death of people. So why can you talk shit about Muslims? Why can you talk shit about Christians? Why can you talk shit about Hare Krishnas and Mormons? Because people aren't trying to mass kill them. That's why. Go ahead, Amy.
I look, if you like, you've already kind of said this. If you talk bad about Muslims or the Islamic faith or anyone of, probably not Hispanic really, but like Black, African Americans, people will come after you and they will try to physically harm you. If you talk about white people, Christians, or Jews, you're safe. No one's going to come after you. No one's going to try to target you. It's a double standard. It is truly what it is. So there is freedom of speech, but there are consequences to your freedom of speech.
Yeah, always.
And it's what it is. And so if you don't want to pay those consequences, then you do have to kind of walk that line. And as a Christian, I do consider myself a Christian because I do follow Jesus Christ. We love the Jews. The Catholics love the Jews. We really do. I think most Christians love Jews. Like, we get along fine. So, even though they killed Jesus.
Pat Nelson says, see, that's what it always comes down to. No matter what, I can never let that go. It's always on that first date. And somebody goes, is it true you killed Jesus? And you're like, God,
Whoops.
Pat Nelson says, there are Khazarian Jews, evil, and there are authentic Jewish people. True Jewish people are good people.
There's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, and the same thing with the Hasidic Jews. And you don't have to, it's not that we disagree with you. The Hasidic Jews are giant twat douchebags. And the way that they, listen.
They're violent.
Yes, and so are Muslim extremists, so are Christian nationalists. Every religious sect has its crazies, even Buddhists.
Yeah.
Take a look at the conversations between the Shaolin monks and the Buddhists and what happened. Every religion has, hello, Angela Hills, wished it could be more. It's just right.
Perfect.
$21.10 is perfect.
Thank you, Angela.
Go ahead, Amy. You wanted to say something quick, and then I want to move on because
that was
I don't
it. Like, truly, that was it. Like, there are, yes, I totally agree. There's evil people everywhere.
Yeah,
there's just
and I'm not here to defend the Jewish ideology. I think a lot of the Jewish ceremonial and traditional structure of the church is just the same way I feel about Catholics. No offense. I think the ceremonial bullshit is not necessary. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry. It's what I believe. Totally. I believe God is between the book and Jesus Christ is your relationship, and that's all you need. That's all you need. But if you have questions and need guidance, that's where that community comes in. I think church is a great thing for spiritual guidance and acceptance and camaraderie. But when it starts coming around that, you got to tell a mortal man your sins and he can bless and forgive you, and you got to get on your knees and eat some wafer and drink the blood of Christ, I think it's a little weird. Just a little weird for me.
You're allowed to feel that way.
Right. And I'm not trying to be offensive to anyone who is that religion. I'm just saying, for me, I think ceremonious. I think God says some very specific things that are against that. This is where Amy and I have crossed sabers on occasion, because I don't believe in saints, and I don't believe you should be wearing medallions to worship them. But that's just a different culture. And if we could just fucking remember that I wasn't in the house with Amy when she learned this, and she wasn't in the house with me when I did it. So therefore there's got to be some inconsistencies, and that's okay. And that's what makes us unique. Amy, put a bow
Uh,
on this.
Last quick thing, and I didn't know if you were going to get to it tonight. I thought you might, but maybe Wednesday we can chat about it. What's going on in Arizona with wanting to have religion back in schools for like therapeutic reasons instead
Yeah,
of just
there's.
yeah. So
Oh, I didn't know that.
Let's talk about that.
yes,
How about we do that? How about we
captain.
just answer Thomas? Thomas Griffith says, Matt, did you see the question about JD Vance that put on his X profile? Should the WF be labeled a terrorist organization? No. Why should the world, as much as capitalism should be labeled a terrorist organization for countries that don't believe in capitalism? WEF is a doctrine, and it is a belief structure. Thank you, JD. Good to see you all on Monday. JD, thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
It's a doctrine. It is a belief process on how to existentially and practically apply globalism to the planet. Do I agree with any of it? No, I think it should be filed along with the other bullshit things like Maoism and socialism and Marxist-Leninism. And be filed in a garbage can. But no, should there be a terrorist organization? No. Now, can people say if the WEF is subverting governments and using dark money to overthrow and destroy and erode a country's culture and its law? That's something to talk about. But until you can demonstrate that that's what's taking place without no equivocation, no, you can't label them a terrorist organization. Tren De Aragua, you can do that for sure. And I'm glad Trump did. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Amy, put a button on this thing.
Yeah. No, I mean that was it. Like I was just I mean, you and I have our different beliefs. We don't worship the saints. We don't worship them.
If you put a pendant on your body and pray to them, then you're worshiping them.
We're not praying to them. We're asking for intercession on our behalf.
That is so weak.
I ask for prayers all the time. I ask for other people to pray for me or my friends or things that I need or
Right.
want to happen. And that's exactly what we're doing when we're praying to a saint. We are asking for intercession on our behalf. Please help us. Pray for us. That's what we say.
But why isn't God capable of doing that? Why do you need a saint to help you with that?
But-
Why does a saint have to? I mean, isn't God all powerful? Why doesn't God just do that? Then why do we need saints? Doesn't that remove the omnipotency of a deity? Is that he needs help?
No, he doesn't. Oh no, he doesn't need help. But in the Catholic faith, there's a lot of discussion. I don't want to go off on this tangent, but I will say this really quickly.
You said it.
I know. Well, just because I saw the things with Arizona today, and I saw the chaplains being.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. You and I just disagree on the saints. Like, I don't think you should be wearing. But that's it. That's all. But it doesn't mean I'm right. Once again, if I grew up as a Catholic, I could be like, this is ridiculous. Of course, we're not praying to them. We're asking them very nicely.
Yeah.
And I don't. But that's still praying. You're having a conversation with someone who isn't there, who is on another plane and another realm of existence, and asking them for assistance on your behalf. To me, that's a prayer. It doesn't matter how you cut it. It just seems like praying to, and God has some very specific rules on that, if I'm not mistaken, about false idols and worshiping other deities. So
it's not
confusing.
We're not worshiping them. So that's I get. So I understand where you're coming from, but we are not worshiping these people who are saints. It's really.
Do you sacrifice chickens to St. Peter? Just be honest with me. Do you? It's like in his name?
Don't, especially right now. We can't afford. Although eggs have come down, I'm so happy.
I know, like you're like I've got a Cadbury. Whoever thought chocolate would be cheaper than an actual fucking egg? Cadbury, $7 for one. All right, we've done this before. Let's not do this again. I love you. I love you.
It's just a lot. I don't want to get off on the tangent because we have other things planned and like.
This is why I was excommunicated from the Catholic Church. That they don't want me. They didn't want me when I was younger. They wouldn't let me. My mom bring me back, and I was not able to go back because I asked questions that they didn't like. Like, why do you keep touching me in those funny places?
No.
So
why pray to the saints?
Oh.
Be better. to help us to be better in life and to get rid of the evil in the world.
Okay. Thank you, Fiona. That's very lovely. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Such a low blow. So not fair. Totally not playing by the rules. I'm going to go get my beautifully gorgeous little daughter to melt Matt's heart and win the debate. All right. Hey, we got to talk about Arizona. Hurry up. Let's go. When you're done, take care of your kid first.
All right, love you. I just what? You'll be okay. All right.
Judy St. Vincent. We got to call her. Judy St. Vincent says, why do we ask? You got to mute your phone. Mute your phone. Why do we ask our friends to pray for us? Because our friends have the power to connect and to communicate with God and to have a communal with God, because every human being has that right. But you're not having a seance either.
No.
And saints are not on this mortal coil. They are beyond in heaven. And in order to communicate with their non-corporal spirit, you have to use a technique, which is to put your hands together and use your soul and your mind and your heart in unison to communicate the same way you communicate with God. And that's called a prayer.
No.
That's why. Okay. Tell me why it's no. Who are we talking to?
This is Elizabeth, and I am also Catholic, Matt.
Okay. All right.
And
why do you only call when you're pissed off, Elizabeth? Why do you only call when you're pissed off? Why do you only call when you're mad?
I'm not pissed. I'm just trying to help you understand better.
Oh, that's not condescending at all, because I need help to understand and comprehend things. Elizabeth, thank God you're here. Tell me what I need to know.
Okay. Do you have any parents or any pictures of like your parents, your grandparents, or any of them?
No.
You're asking the wrong person.
You're asking the wrong person about that one. No.
Next question.
Yeah. But you can understand why people keep.
No, I can't. No, I can't. No, not with my family. I certainly can't. Nope.
I've got pictures of my family.
Okay, great. Olivia has. Maybe you can ask Elizabeth. Why don't you ask Olivia, because she believes the exact same thing I do, but she won't say it because she doesn't have the testicular fortitude. Go ahead.
Olivia.
Yes.
Whenever you look at those pictures, do you ever wonder what that individual would do if they were in your situation?
No.
No?
I've not. No.
Do you ever wonder what they would have done had they been still alive?
The only person I've ever thought that about was my grandma Rice. And she died when I was 5 of breast cancer, and I never got to know her. That's the only person I've ever thought of. What would she think about me doing this? Would she be proud of me? But that is the only person ever in my life that I've ever thought about.
Okay, she would be considered as your saint because of the fact that you thought enough about her that you would still want to say, okay, what would she think about this? How would she feel about this? Now, whenever you consider, okay, if they, I wish that there was somebody here that could be with me, that could help me out. You would probably wish that somebody would be there for you. Well, that is a saint. That is,
hold on.
Huh?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was telling Olivia to hold on and let you finish.
Oh, go ahead, Olivia.
No. You go, because you were talking,
Okay.
and then Olivia I know my wife. She was gonna cut you off rudely and just like cut right in front of you. So I had to put her in line and say, "Hey, knock it off, Liv. Don't listen to Amy. Amy's wrong. I'm right. Go ahead. Elizabeth, go ahead, please. We want to hear what you have to say. I'm actually really interested.
Okay, with my mom, whenever my mom passed away,
Yeah.
I have gone through Hades. Matt knows I've gone through Hades since my mom's passed away.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Well, I still go, Mom, I wish you wouldn't have died. I wish you would have been here. But
sure.
You know very well she's not there, right there. You're not praying to her. You're going, Mom, I wish that you would be here. I wish that you would help me.
Yes.
But at the same time, you very well know that she's gone. She can't come back. But at the same time, her spirit is everywhere now.
That makes sense.
And that's kind of what your saint is. The saint spirit is still there. You're not praying to them. You're just saying, okay, I know about your life. I know how well you were able to live. I know that you had your struggles. I wish that you could be here to help me, even though I didn't really know you. I knew about you.
Fair enough.
And that's where,
That's
and
an
then you
interesting
go,
way to put
okay.
it, yeah.
And whenever you picture them in the room with you, you're like, I wish that you were here to pray for me. Okay, so you're not really praying to that saint. You're just thinking, okay, I wish that my mom could be here. She would always prayed with me, but she's not anymore. But she could still pray for me. She's up with God now. She's up in heaven. And so now she can talk to God as well because of the fact that she's beyond the different realm. She's actually closer to God than I can be here on earth. And so that is kind of how your saints are. As you remember them, like Saint Francis of Assisi. He is one that he loved animals. I love animals. As you could tell, my animals are barking in the background. I'm like, okay, Saint Francis, you went through your times. If you were here, how could you help in this situation? Now, Jesus is always going to be your forefront. Jesus is the one you pray to. But these others are who you're thinking of and going, okay, they struggled too. They were not perfect. Jesus was the only man that was perfect because he was God.
Okay, so
but at the same,
hold on a second.
Go ahead.
No, it's just for the sake of time. Amy, go ahead.
I think what Elizabeth is trying to say is every saint
what she was
is
saying.
assigned. Yeah, every saint is assigned to something. Some have multiple things. Saint Joseph is known to help you sell your house, so people will bury a statue of him in their yard, and you're supposed to do a prayer and a novena, and then your house will sell.
By the way, it didn't work.
Did you do the novena?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Please stay on topic. I've got 150 freaking topics to go. Come on, ladies.
Sorry. Anyway, so you're praying to a specific saint to ask them to intercede
not praying
on your behalf. You're not praying to them to help you. You're asking them to go to Jesus for you in heaven and say, hey, can you help this lady out here on earth? She needs your help with X, Y, and Z. And that's what my specialty is. So can we help this lady out? Or this, that's essentially what it is.
Okay.
Which I understand sounds crazy to people who do not believe this. I can see that.
I have questions.
But Amy, one word you used there, and I'm sorry, Matt, is you said we pray. You just said yourself that we pray.
You are praying. You are praying. You're praying. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you questions. The key to what you said, and I know everybody wants to talk, and I love this. And I love this dialogue. This is amazing, but this isn't what the show's about tonight. But that's okay, because I don't care. That's why we have a great show. Here's a couple things. One is you said these are people you've known and you've loved and have impacted your life. There's one difference. And in the coping processes and the point of getting to acceptance is the denial phase. And it's the second in the curve of change curve. And to get to a place of acceptance, people have to go through denial. And one way that they get to the acceptance and then obviously moving through that change is to have those coping skills and coping mechanisms that assist them through the process. So a lot of people talk to their loved ones because they miss them. And it's a normal process that actually happened on terra firma. It was a real thing. So it's a recollection of what is normal and what was real and what was material in a mortal existence. The difference is you don't know these saints. You've never had a relationship with these saints. You've never had any communicate with these saints that has been on terra firma in the corporal plane. So now what we're saying is that I'm going to wear their emblems. I'm going to go to them for specific issues to advocate on my behalf to the Lord. Why? My question is why? God is all willing, all knowing, and all powerful, and that relationship and that conveyance is between you and the Lord. Why do you need a third party? When you ask someone, please pray for me, it's honestly not for the Lord, it's for you. When you say, please pray for me, you're asking and saying that maybe your soul isn't right. Or maybe you feel that more prayers, no, hold on, let me get it all before you start saying no. Maybe your soul isn't right. Maybe you need to prayer up because you haven't prayed in a while. Maybe you are an avid person of prayer and have seen the power of communal prayer change your life in a situation before. Maybe you're a witness to it. So there's many reasons to do it, but all of them have one common denominator, that you are involved with a real thing and have a connection. I don't see the benefit of saints. I don't see a benefit of putting on medallions, and I don't see the benefit of splitting hairs and saying that it's having a conversation with someone you've never had a conversation before, and you're using the way of God and the way you communicate with God, because God is the only one that can hear your prayers. And the last thing I will say is that saint means holy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hard for me to say that that's not prayer.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got on it. Amy, set me straight, or somebody else?
I agree with you. So, but the thing about it is, it's what makes the person feel better, and also the communal is whenever you call somebody on the telephone, like to the televised ministers. You don't know them, but you're asking them for prayers.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty stupid too. I don't think any human being should be asked to step in for God. You don't need a church for that. Why don't you just talk to God? That's what he's there for. Right. But my point, I'm not talking to you. We're talking in a collective sense. Why would anyone need to go talk to a man in funny clothing in a dark chamber and tell him all your sins in order to ask for forgiveness? Why don't you just ask for forgiveness?
It says confess your sins to one to another, and that is the one that you can trust, because you know that they're not going to go spread all your sins out.
Yeah.
Right, but why?
If
the Bible
because it says, huh?
Go ahead. Listen,
the Bible that's what the Bible says to do.
So the Bible says to go to a man in robes in a dark room that you know who it is, but you pretend you don't. And you tell them all your deepest, darkest secrets, and then he has you count a bunch of beads, and you're okay. That's what it says in the Bible. Show me where.
It's
exactly
confessing your sins one to another.
It doesn't. It says exactly what I just said. It really. It says we're going to count.
No, not what you just said. It said, but you're making up doctrine, and we're just following what's been handed down.
Wait a second. I didn't make that up. You don't go into a funny room for confession. Wait a second.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You can sit next to your priest on the pew in church. You don't have to go into the box if you don't want to. You have three options.
Go ahead, give it to me. What are the three options?
You can go into the box. You can go into, you can do confession anywhere. You can do it in a pew at church.
Right.
And so you can really do it anywhere, honestly. As long as you're telling your priest, I'm confessing to you, then you confess anywhere. So it's up to your comfort level.
When do you confess to God? When do you confess to God?
In church.
In church.
Or you can confess to God every day. You can tell God your sins every day, but a priest is going to absolve you of those sins here on earth. And you don't have to even confess all of your sins. You could just say, I'm sorry for this one sin. And during the Mass, though, if you're intentional with your prayer, you're forgiven of all of your sins.
See, communal prayer is not what I'm questioning.
You're asking about why asking people to pray for you, correct?
Say it again. You cut out.
You're asking why people are praying. You're asking people to pray for you, and you're asking why. No. I said specifically that communal prayer is an amazing. I just gave you examples of why people would pray to a saint or ask for assistance from a saint. In my eyes, I gave like 5 of them. One of them would be they need to prayer up. One is that they're not a very good human being. 2 is that they believe in the power of communal prayer. So I understand why people ask for multiple prayers. I get it. It's not like I haven't asked for prayers on this show. It's not like we haven't helped people do that.
my point that I was trying to make is the whole conversation wasn't about to insult the Catholic religion, even though that kind of where I took it, just because we started bringing up some really weird shit, in my opinion. What I'm questioning is why you pray to saints, and you guys keep telling me you don't pray to them, and you do.
No.
Because it's a communal.
They're holy. They're holy.
No, you're wrong.
Okay, I'm wrong.
No, and I'm going to tell you you're wrong, and I'll tell you why. Because you're saying that's the definition, right? You're saying that's the definition. Well, if you read the Bible, which I do, there's lowercase and uppercase for a reason.
Sure.
Lowercase is not holy, like as in Jesus is the one true God, and he is capital H, holy. If you talk about sons and daughters of God, lowercase s is for people, anyone who is not Jesus. If it's a capital S, it's the Son of God, who is Jesus, and that is the only time. If you're talking about God, uppercase G, it's the one true God. There's also gods talked about quite often in the Bible, lowercase g. So yes, there is a specific difference. Same with saints. They are not capital H holy, and that is very clear.
I know. I learned about pronouns in English in first grade. There are saints because God called them. They owe their status to no one but God. It is and through Jesus Christ that God has sanctified them, Corinthians 6:1, or made them holy, or made them saints, Ephesians and Philip. Okay, so your definition of holy is a singular entity known as God with a capital H.
Correct.
So this is like he is risen, huh? That we're going to say that that's proper English.
He is risen because he still is currently risen in heaven. He has not returned to earth.
This is why I was kicked out of Sunday school. I can't do it. I can't. It's just, why can't any religious people ever just say that it's not proper English? Why can't we just say that?
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, it's not proper English, but it makes sense.
Okay, great. All right, then we can stop. We can stop. I'm done. I feel good. You're the first person ever of the Christian faith who has ever said that he is risen is just wrong. And they try to justify it. He is risen. I'm like, no, he rose.
Yeah. Or
he is still he is still risen, or he has risen, or he rose. All acceptable. But he is risen, an adjective into a noun? No, it's not. So my point is the Bible occasionally contradicts itself. And why can't we just say that they called saints holy? And if they are holy, then they are a spirit. And if they are a spirit, then we're praying. And it's okay that that's not the way we see it. But it's really hard when it's defined that way in the Bible. And just to say because it's not a capital, it doesn't really make much sense to me. It's kind of splitting hairs.
No.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's no.
Just want to slap me. I get it. Most people do. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
What I'm going to say is remember that whenever you're translating fully from one language to another, Latin and Greek to English, it's not going to come out.
You're missing about 4 or 5 others
in any language.
Yes, and I know this, and Aramaic. And you can go back to old. There's plenty of languages that it's been ciphered from, and I get that. What I'm saying is that I agree with you, and I've made that argument on this show. What I'm saying is you are not making excuses for it and making up silly stuff in order to go ahead and say that there are no mistakes in the Bible when it is full of contradictions, because it is humans who have deciphered and carried it down. I didn't say God's fallible. I didn't say God made a mistake, because God is perfect. What I'm saying is the Bible is. And therefore, stop making excuses for it and saying that it was God's law. And there's a capital there that justifies the inequity that's in the Bible, because unfortunately, it just has some, and it's okay. It's okay. We don't have to go ahead.
The thing about it is, it was all inspired by God, but because it is written by man, it has gone through so many different translations.
Right.
There will be fallacies in there.
Right.
The Bible is not relieved of all that because it was written by man. the monks kept it together. It's a history of all the way back.
Yes.
But what we have to go off of is this Bible. But it is written inspired by God.
Sure.
And
I agree with everything you just said.
You are right. It can have fallacies in it, just like what you already said. I'm agreeing
Right.
with you, by the way.
Good.
So
all I'm saying is that
Christians.
Christians need to stop making excuses for it, is what I'm saying. Stop defining. When I say he is risen, that is not correct. And it's really annoying and it frustrates me when it's said. And they're like, actually, he is still, Amy just did it. She just did it a second ago and explained it to me. And I said, bullshit, that's not right.
But I get both sides because I was raised with one side and I also grew up in the world. So I know.
Right, but your cognitive intellect said the other and said, I can understand where you're coming from because grammatically it's not. And I don't care about that. I still am just talking about sainthood. And I'm talking about wearing a pendant where a crucifix would reside. And I'm talking about using a telecommunication status of prayer to talk to a saint. I don't know if that is not considered to be prayer because one has a capital H and the other doesn't. That's all I'm saying. In
other words, I think this is a subject where a lot of the Protestants and Catholics have to agree to disagree.
But I'm neither.
Is that fair?
No, I'm an outsider looking in. I will defend. How many times have I defended God on this show?
A lot.
So I'm going to do it. I don't think you think so, but I think I don't think you think so, but I think so. No, I know so.
No, God knows your heart and he knows your intentions. And I don't think you're offensive.
I know, but do you think that I truly protect God in this show or no? Be honest.
I do.
Oh,
and here's why.
Good. Okay.
Because you're never disrespectful to anyone's beliefs ever that I've ever seen anyway. I've never seen you come across as disrespectful. You have questions and I think that's completely valid. I have questions about other people's faiths as well. I still have questions about my own faith. Just ask my priest. I'm not considered a very good Catholic and I've admitted that a million times on this show because I am just the worst. But I do love my faith very much.
I think you're a very, very strong Christian because you help with understanding. I believe that in the Bible, they talk about people like you and me who make you question your faith. And those people may not have the word of God because of their questions. And some do and some don't. And I love that you do. I'm learning, but I will never not ask questions. Just like as a Republican, I'll challenge Republicans, even though I agree with them most of the time. And even though I agree with the Bible and the thought of God and the structure, most of the time, he has given me the brain to respect and care for those people who believe. But if you want to get into a conversation, I got some serious freaking questions that most people don't have the answers to. And I know there's people who do, but they won't come on my show because we've tried. I've tried to get your I know he won't come on. He won't come on. And honestly, there's only two reasons he won't come on. One is that he doesn't like the brand of vodka, or he knows the questions I'm going to ask. One of the two.
No, he used to be a radio host and he left that world behind and that was his reasoning. He's like, I don't want to do it anymore. And
he doesn't
he's
like
actually
my brand of vodka.
No, he's trying to retire. He does 2 masses a week now, pretty much. I think that's all he does. So,
all right, let's just say this: there's one God, and there's a bunch of people who are saints that you propagate with your human beliefs in order to convey better communication with God in a more organized and indexed fashion. You can't say much better than that. Yeah, so you pray. Okay, got it. Good. Glad we all agree. Moving on.
We'll agree to disagree on this one, Matt.
Bullshit. It's praying. It's okay. It doesn't matter. I love the patron saint of lost causes. I love the idea of it. I'd probably have a medal for it, honestly, because a medallion, because I love the idea of patron saints of lost causes because I am a lost cause. Olivia, you have something to say, baby.
My father was raised Catholic and went to a Catholic school, and there is a reason I was not raised Catholic. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say. I've been to a Catholic church a handful of times. It was for cousins' weddings and my grandfather's funeral, and I felt uncomfortable every single time. The amount of Hail Marys and the up and down and the kneeling and yeah, it wasn't for me. I
kind of like it when you kneel. Just saying.
well, it's not a Catholic church. My goodness. I mean, I did have to say that the one time we went to, it was my grandfather, after he passed, we went to his wake. And, I loved my grandfather. I was very, very sad when he died. But at his wake, the priest that got up there and did his wake sounded just like the priest from Princess Bride.
Marriage.
Yes.
Love. True love.
Yes.
Man and wife. Say man and wife.
And it took my sister and I everything to not laugh out loud during the whole service. We're sitting there holding each other's hands, and I'm like this, trying to pretend I'm like wiping away tears because I had real tears in my eyes. But we were just trying not to laugh during the whole thing because he sounded just like it. And I have nothing against Catholicism. I have nothing against any religion. And I believe everyone should have their own faith and believe what they want to believe, but Catholicism is not for me.
Monte Cristo is what it is. Leroy and I were supposed to partake, but we didn't. We got back super late because we went, holy shit, we went to the Chop House and we're sitting there.
Speaking of religious blasphemy.
Oh my God. I had to talk to the saint of, I don't have that fucking amount of money.
Oh my God.
And that saint didn't answer my prayer. Sorry, my spiritual communion. And I sat down. I've been to Chop House 100 times in Chicago, Los Angeles, other places. And it's always like, yeah, it's $75 a person, basically, maybe 100 at the most. I mean, if you get a couple drinks, we were doing the math. It was going to be like $900 after tip. And like, it was like $79 for a, what was it, an 8-ounce steak? And that's not even getting into entrees. So I look at it, I'm like, listen, I love you guys. But I, in good conscience, I cannot spend this kind of money on this type of food. There's 100 other restaurants that I would love to go to and spend that. So we went to,
on top of the fact that there was a golden cow in the middle of the
yeah, and a goat wrestling a freaking it was weird satanic shit going on in there. We think that's where all the androchrome is being provided. So we went to Texas Roadhouse and said, Thomas Austin, $51.99. Folks, we are so far behind schedule.
We've had several, but with the phone call, I haven't put them in.
Go ahead, Ames. Ames, you got 10 seconds.
Oh, I think we should wrap it up, and then we'll talk about Arizona another day. And
we're gonna. You know what? Let's get in it. Let's do Arizona right now.
I haven't researched it enough, but
okay, fair enough. You know what? Because I got too many great topics. We got so much shit to go through. Here we go.
Join WimKen.com, the social media platform built for free speech and true connection.
Love you, Amy.
No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at WimKen.com and take back your voice. Yeah. Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
Elizabeth, we love you. Appreciate you, kiddo. Talk to you soon.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. I knew that was coming. I'm like, I'm just waiting for Amy to say, I'll pray for you. I'm like, you son
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Hey, Nick Carroll just said, nice hat, Matt.
Yeah, dude. It's on all of our photos, man. Well, not all of them, but it's on the main photo. It's on the Dumb Show podcast photo now. Kevster donated $10.80.
Which, by the way, we just got an email from Mr. Barry Morgenstein with the Dropbox with the rest of the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Dropbox. That's exciting. Yeah, if you take a look at the new cover for the show, it's got the Still Point hat on it. There it is. The new cover. Everyone's looking wicked. I love that. It's very Fleetwood Mac-ish, that cover. Barry did a good job, Rockstar. Amy, you look gorgeous tonight. Love your hair like that. I told you before, you need to do it again. Tren De Aragua, better watch the F out because there's a new sheriff in town. And his name.
Yeah.
No, it's not the Hodge twins. You guys always take up time. What the hell's wrong with you?
It's like, what is that?
It's called Dan Bongino. Special Agent Dan Bongino, Director. Deputy Director, FBI.
I thought Dan Bongino was short, but if Dan Bongino's
Dan's a big
short,
dude.
then
He's not a
Cash
huge dude.
Patel would be really short.
Yeah, Dan's not a huge dude, but he's not a small guy either in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, Cash is a little small, but Dan's probably 6. But man, he's wearing my tie. So happy to see this. But Tren De Aragua, I don't know if you had a chance to go here and look, but this is pretty insane when we look at it. These, I want to tell you about some. Donald Trump deported 200 of these guys and sent them back to here. Watch this. This is how they treat them. I think it was Venezuela. So here it is.
César Eliseo Sortomaya.
Easy!
Welcome to your new home, bitches.
Good.
It's going to be a great movie. It's a great trailer.
That is one of the best trailers I've ever seen. I mean, there's going to be a lot of grab ass in that. I mean, wow. Your feelings on this, because a lot of people are watching this are saying this is cruel and unusual punishment. You've got people in the media. We listened to it today, and they are saying this isn't the way you treat Venezuelans.
Yeah.
I mean, how could you treat Venezuelans like this?
That's not even that's in El Salvador or Venezuela.
Thank you,
or whatever.
Maureen.
That's not even in America.
So, what I understand, but we're the one that put them on these flights, right? A judge blocked it. It was a federal judge. He ordered a 2-week stop on deportations. They were already up in the air. The White House said. I'd love to see if that's true or not. Honestly, I don't care. I don't give a shit. And here's why. And I apologize, ladies, but this is important. And I so occasionally I do this, and I hope that Donald Trump's listening. If he's not, maybe someone can tag someone in his staff for this. So I had to go back, and I was sitting here and I was thinking, I'm like, all right, so what are these guys' arguments? If they're green carders, if they're here illegally, do they have rights? And they all do. And the one thing that they all have is habeas corpus. Now, so I wrote this down for you. Just a little history. And this is really interesting because it will play into this. Liv, if you want extra points tonight in bed, you might want to listen to this one.
I'm listening.
Abraham Lincoln's suspension of habeas corpus and his conflicts with the Supreme Court. A lot of people don't know this. But Abraham Lincoln had a lot of contention for the Supreme Court. He felt they were politicized. He felt they had way too much power, that the federal government was usurped by the Supreme Court. And the aspects of his presidency, by suspending habeas corpus, ultimately allowed him to do some things that were in direct contradiction with the judicial branch and the U.S. Constitution. Habeas corpus, it's a constitutional right, and it prevents essentially you being thrown in jail for no reason. It's not Miranda rights, but it allows for unlawful imprisonment, and very similar to taxation without representation. It's the easiest way to say that you have to have representation to be imprisoned or to have your rights taken away. So during the Civil War, he wanted to crack down on Confederate sympathizers and people who were secretly supportive of the South and had open dismay and derision for the North. So he went ahead and enacted that these dissenters from border states like Maryland and Virginia had to essentially stop them from their separatist beliefs and would have them removed or have them imprisoned in order to make a declarative, punishment against them. One of the biggest cases was John Merriman. You might want to look it up. It's an interesting case. He was a pro-Confederate from Maryland, and they were treasonous back then too, as they are today. Was arrested for attempting to sabotage troop union movements, going behind enemy lines, removing bridges, creating potholes so the caravans would throw a wheel and stuff. So Chief Justice Roger Taney ruled in ex parte Merriman, and it was in 1861, that Lincoln's suspension of habeas corpus was unconstitutional because only Congress had the power to suspend it under Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. So Lincoln ignored Taney's ruling, claiming that rebellion justified his actions. He later sought and received congressional approval for the suspension in 1863, but the precedent was set. He had defied the Supreme Court, and Lincoln said, "No, thou shalt not pass." But Lincoln had a huge disdain for the Supreme Court, and although respected their positions, did not respect the men who held those positions, which is a very big difference. He had an open disdain for them, particularly because of its role in the infamous Dred Scott decision. We all learned this in school, 1867, which declared that black Americans were not citizens and that Congress had no authority to regulate slavery in the territories. And this is where we go back to the 3/5 compromise, which is absolutely in no way about black people saying they are 3/5 of a person. They were it was an equivalation to 3/5 of a vote. The reason why is there were 4.1 million black slaves, and if they would have done that, the South would have leveraged, beaten, abused those black slaves to vote for the South, and they would have overtaken the presidency, hence running the United States, as they just propagated a civil war against the North. Nobody wanted that to happen. So their votes were relegated to congressmen and state legislatures as a 3/5 vote. Nobody ever said that they were 3/5 of a person. That's a bullshit lie. Lincoln publicly denounced the ruling during the debates with Stephen Douglas and in his first inaugural address, where he warned that allowing the court to decide political questions for the entire nation would destroy the self-government and the power of the executive branch. During the war, Lincoln ignored or resisted judicial decisions that threatened his war policies, including press censorship, the military draft, and the prosecution of civilians in military courts. His administration arrested editors and politicians critical of the war, detained thousands without trial, and bypassed the courts when necessary. Holy shit. This is Lincoln, Lincoln's actions were unprecedented in their scope. By suspending habeas corpus and defying the Supreme Court, he centralized power in the executive branch in ways never before seen. His justification was saying that the Republic was more important than the strict adherence to the Constitution. As he infamously put it, are all the laws but one to go unexecuted, and the government itself go to pieces, lest that one be violated. Lincoln's legacy is often romanticized, but his presidency showed that even leaders revered for preserving liberty were willing to suppress civil liberties when they believed the nation's survival depended on it. Now, everything posthumous from what I just said, from him suspending habeas corpus, is a breach of the Constitution of the United States. I do not condone those things. If Donald Trump did any of the things that Lincoln did, suspending civil liberty or portions of the Constitution to beset his presidency, he should be arrested and removed and tried and impeached. Impeached, then tried, then convicted. But he does have the power to ignore the lower courts. And the reason why is because the same reason that the presidency and the executive branch has to adhere to the Supreme Court of the land, the federal courts and the lower circuit courts are not and do not dictate executive privilege upon the president. They cannot go ahead and invoke these laws and these back alley decisions in order to stop political momentum going forward. And here's why. Because the President of the United States, his number one job and responsibility is to protect the citizens of the United States. And he has declarative powers to say that people are, in fact, enemies of the state and declare them as such and remove them from the United States. It's well within his power, which is why he runs the State Department and is the leader of the State Department as well. Not much else to say on this. I would love to get your thoughts. I'm sorry it went a little bit long, but I thought it was a good topic. 2110, Joseph Hillstrom, visit the Vatican and go under the altar and see all the popes, including St. Peter and the disciple of Jesus. Fair enough. Maybe one day we'll take Olivia there. Liv, thoughts on this with Donald Trump saying, you know what? Maybe we're just not going to listen to these lower courts.
I do not have an issue with it. If he's not breaking the law and he is not required to listen to those lower courts, then he doesn't have to. I mean, and the fact that these lower courts are trying to block him from getting illegal aliens out of the country just baffles me. Baffles me. I don't get it. And I don't get it. But here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't the Constitution only cover citizens of this country?
No. Constitution. So quickly, and then I want Amy's opinion on this too. So you have to go to the Declaration of Independence, where all men are created equal. You have to go on that all men have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Not happiness. Life and liberty are guaranteed for all men. And happiness, the pursuit of happiness is guaranteed, not happiness itself. Okay, I want to make sure the caveat. Read the small print, fine print, caveat emptor, baby. But if you step foot on U.S. soil, you have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And liberty means that, as defined by the Constitution of the United States, are the laws that we are beset upon the citizenry of this country. So they do have rights. Green card people also have rights. People on visas have rights. However, as you have rights, you are also beholden to follow the rules of this land. And if you break them, you can be held accountable. Just want to make sure you understood.
Mm-hmm. And they're breaking the laws, so they need to be held accountable. Get them out.
When people say the three branches of government does not include district judges, that's like saying city council has the right to go ahead and enact legislation at a federal level. They don't. Federal and district judges have a hierarchy, and federal and district judges are under the Supreme Court of the United States. And those Supreme Court's 9 justices each have a region and territory that they oversee the entirety of those district Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, and also the district judges. So, no. Now, can they make an injunction? Yes, and it can slow it down. It doesn't, and stop it temporarily until it's appealed by the federal government, and ultimately will wind up being with the Supreme Court. And that's the loophole. The loophole is that there is an indiscriminate amount of time before the Supreme Court will have to hear this. And what usually happens is White House counsel pushes through, goes to the DOJ and Attorney General go ahead and present their case and say, this needs to be put in an emergency session of the Supreme Court to hear these cases because we have to move forward. This is what happened with the Muslim ban when it came to Somalia and other countries, when he did the travel ban and it was overturned by the courts. Democrats threw it out there, suspended it for about 3.5 months. Supreme Court heard it and said, yes, it was unconstitutional. And then Donald Trump couldn't do it anymore. This situation, Democrats don't want to hurry up. They want to leave this in the courts as long as they can, similar to what we did with the Obamacare mandate, which took 2.5 years because every time we get to hang it around Democrats' neck. Amy, your thoughts?
So maybe you guys touched on this. Sorry, I was having a side conversation there. Donald Trump declared these people as terrorists. And I don't know, wasn't there a law that came out that there's different rules for terrorist activity, correct? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it follows under the Patriot Act, and then there's yes, there is one.
So I don't know how that would hold up to the constitutional laws and how this should be handled. I'm not an attorney, and I don't like to pretend to be one. I can read though. So my biggest problem with any of this, I hope Donald Trump is not breaking any constitutional laws. I sincerely hope not, because I don't want to be called a hypocrite, but honestly, these people broke our laws coming into our country, and most of them, if not all of them, are. Are you me?
I'm telling them to mute their phone. Somebody called in. Go ahead.
So all of them are already criminals by breaking our laws, by coming here illegally. And most of them, if not all of them, are actually real horrible people anyway and should not be here. And they need to go back to their country. I don't see a problem with deporting them. I love this video, and I hope this doesn't come back to bite me in the ass later with saying, I hope this is showed to the entire world, because I hope everyone sees this and understands that you don't come here unless we want you. Honestly, don't come here unless you have went through the full process. And I know it takes time and it sucks, but don't come here unless you're wanted and you've been asked.
So, good points. I think there's some confusion. People seem to be a little bit confused on what a district court is and a federal court is. So let me dive into that after I take the caller. Caller, who's on the phone?
Yes, Mel.
Okay. So Mel, I'm going to go through a couple things and then we'll bounce it over to you. A district court is where trials take place. People are like, well, the federal oversees the Court of Appeals. It oversees the circuits, and then the circuits are run by the federal. That's not true. The difference between a federal court and a circuit court is what they ultimately are responsible for, not prosecuting, but overall what is on their ledger and what is on their docket. Okay? So I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can so people understand. The structure, district courts or trial courts, where most federal cases begin. Circuit courts are the Court of Appeals. They handle appeals from the district courts. So whatever decisions are made in the district courts, the circuit court ultimately handles the appeal. And then there's the U.S. Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the land, as we know. So like a federal case would be a constitutional challenge, or immigration and border security cases, or large-scale corporate lawsuits. So when people are like, this is a federal judge, of course it's a federal judge, because they handle those type of cases. But those federal judges are, in fact, report to the SCOTUS. So the Supreme Courts of the United States, there's 9 district courts. Those district courts are broken up into different areas of states, and each judge has a certain amount of states and circuit courts that report to them. This is why a judge has a conflict of interest, will bring a case to the Supreme Court by themselves to be heard. There are also appeals that are done that the Supreme Courts do not touch and that the justices do not endorse to be heard, but each judge gets to bring a certain amount of cases to the courts. And those are usually from the federal courts, which then advocate to the Supreme Court justices that these cases need to be heard from a national perspective or a federal level. So, can a federal judge stop indiscriminately the president from making a decision? No, yes and no. They can use executive actions as unconstitutional, very similar to the Obamacare mandate. They can block enforcement of laws or policies. If it's challenged in court, a judge can issue a temporary restraining order, or TRO. Judicial review under the Constitution. They can, this is what I was talking about, go to the Supreme Court and request a judicial review, or a JR. But there are limits on the federal judges. Federal judges cannot override a president's veto power or dictate national security decisions unless they are clearly violating the law. Listen to what I just said. Listen closely, because this is important. Federal judge cannot override a president's veto power or dictate national security decisions unless clearly violating the law. The moment that they went ahead and declared them as terrorists of the state with ill intent towards the state, towards the country, towards the United States of America, those fell under the provision of the executive powers. As long as he follows constitutional law, which is not put a bullet in their head without due process, he can use Patriot Act and other systems to treat terrorists different than he would treat a normal citizen. This is what they did to the J6 prisoners by declaring them terrorists. They were able to hold them and suspend habeas corpus. This is where I'm asking Donald Trump to listen to me and go back to Lincoln, because this is what Lincoln did. Not all the other shit that Lincoln did, because then you will be a dictator on day one like they said you were going to be. Presidents can appeal decisions to higher courts, including the Supreme Court. A judge cannot directly remove a president from office or decisions through court's influence unless impeachment proceedings by the ruling or any legal aspects within the law are taking place. Once again, here are the examples that I wrote down for you. Trump's travel ban in 2017, DACA in 2017, Biden's COVID-19 vaccine mandates, if you remember that, and also what we mentioned before, the Obamacare mandates. They cannot override the president in the sense of controlling his authority, but they can block or halt executive actions if they violate the Constitution or federal law. And all that takes is a judge's get a wild hair up his ass and say, this is unconstitutional, which is where the political theater begins. This is why something needs to be proposed to the Supreme Courts, that we either let the state's attorneys no longer be state's attorneys because they're federally appointed, and have the state's attorneys override these based upon judicial review, looking at them and saying there's not enough here for this to go to the Supreme Court. As the state's attorney in power of the federal government, I am going to strike this down and overrule this judge. That needs to take place today. Mel, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to chime in on this because this judge, Boesberg, or whatever, however you pronounce his name, was appointed by Chief Justice Roberts to be one of the FISA court 11 people to deal with that issue. So there's already a bias on Chief Justice Roberts' plate with this judge he appointed to, and he was in charge of the J6 whatever during that whole time with the FISA warrant and the FISA whatever application approval process, which he approved, stamped, and did whatever. So how is this not going to be a compromise to the Supreme Court with Justice Roberts and his anointing this Boesberg, who is now challenging Donald Trump on his exporting these people out of the country because they're fucking criminals. So where does that lie? So, yeah, that's my question.
Yeah, it's a great question because ultimately this is what the Democrats have done, and this is in the next segment, is that they no longer have the ability to govern. They only have the ability to try to impede the flow of governorship. That's the only thing they can do. They can only slow the processes down. And what they're hoping is to get to the midterms and regain House or Senate control and stall as long as they can. This is what they want to do. They want to overwhelm the courts at the federal and the SCOTUS level with inundating them with challenges to constitutionality, knowing that just even the process is enough of a win for liberals because it halts his ability to do his job. He needs to invoke what I just said. He can suspend habeas corpus against domestic terrorists. He can classify them. But the sad thing is liberals all over the world right now, all over the country, are crying over Venezuelans. I mean, this is ridiculous. Listen to this clip, Amy, Olivia. Then I want to get your thoughts along with Mel too. But this to me it's so rich because now it's not, these people raped little girls. These people beheaded people. But of course, none of that matters because Tren De Aragua are just upstanding human beings, the right type of people that we want in our country. Here it is. I know, it's such bullshit. Here it is.
Just got to keep your eyes open, y'all. Because if they can just come up and take somebody because they've made a decision that you are supposed to be that person, any one of us could find ourselves being deported to some country.
Don't give them any ideas, girl.
Well, listen, you know, it is very clear to me that if we don't continue to say, we want, listen, I understand you want to clean out all the bad stuff. I get it. But why do you now have access to my personal information? No. I get what the things you're trying to do. I don't understand why you're taking my stuff. My person, not my personally, but each and every one of you.
And your constitutional
rights of free speech, which, you know, everybody says, you know, you never let us say anything. We're, you know, conservatives. And in fact, you're doing the same thing you are accusing everyone else of doing. And you're doing it in a way we've never seen before because very few people have kept you from speaking out. But this is where we are now. Well, we're right here now. And you see, I beat the music. I beat the music.
Fucking.
See, the one thing about that is Whoopi Goldberg. Are you an American citizen? Were you born in this country or did you come here legally? If you have answered yes to any of the three above questions, then you don't have to fucking worry about it, man. They're not coming after you.
You're not a Venezuelan, unless she's in Tren De Aragua. Although the haircut kind of gives her away that she
might be a
TDA member.
They are so stupid. And anyone who believes anything that they spew about, you could be next, they're going to come for you. They are stupid if they believe it. You're not an illegal alien. You didn't come here illegally. If you were born in this country, they're not coming after you. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
People.
Got it. Amy, go.
So I am all for Whoopi Goldberg having whatever her name is, Whoopi, having this sentiment. And I feel that her and every other person who agrees with her should be on a list for the people who are against us to have these illegal criminals be housed at their personal residences and under their watch full time. And if they commit a crime under their watch, that they also be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for housing a criminal that they chose to have because they don't want to offend any fucking person on the planet besides American people who have earned the right to be here. I'm sorry, but it's like, let's defend Hamas. Let's defend the drug cartels. Let's defend all the freaking rapists and murderers. Yeah, put them in your house. See how it goes.
You know, I thought maybe putting up the George Floyd statue might have just been a judgment error on these people. Yeah. But this is who they are. Yeah. This party is absolutely
wonderful,
insane,
against lawful, organized, productive society. They don't give a shit about this. From abortion to using kids, pretending that sex trafficking is not happening, from using every gun, violent school shooting as a campaign fundraiser to raise money against the Second Amendment, from supporting these gang members, dumping illegal immigrants, the flow of fentanyl in this country after Donald Trump addressed the opioid crisis. I mean, what in the name of God do these people stand for? What do they stand for?
Anything that Trump.
That's right.
Anything
that's
Trump
right.
says and anything
that's
Trump
right.
is for.
Yes.
They stand for the complete opposite,
That
no
is
matter
right.
how insane it is.
That is right. That they are the antithetical party to common sense. Because here's what Donald Trump does. And this is I told you about this tactic before. Gutfeld used this today. Okay, Fox, I'm fucking coming for it. I swear nobody, everyone knows these words. Everyone's heard me say this. And this is too uncommon of a statement for you to say on the 5 tonight, unless you stole that shit from me, because I have said Donald Trump focuses on the 80% rule. And he focuses on the 80%, the heavy lift that nobody would disagree with, like women in sports need to be women versus men, like killing a baby at 9 months is a bad thing. These are 80 rules, that securing our borders is important, that energy independence is a strong factor of a strong economy. These are 80-20 rules, where 20% of the population disagrees and 80% does. And what he does is he goes, I'm going to take the 80 rules, and then the Democrats go, fuck you, we're going to take the 20 just because you're Donald Trump. I've been saying that. And I told you that's how he won the election. That he shifted the conversation from abortion and he turned it into late-term abortion, and then he didn't need Nikki Haley anymore, and then he started winning states, and then he swept all 7. And as I told you, that's exactly what I said his campaign needed to do, and he did it, and he won. Now I got Gutfeld talking about the 80-20 rule. And how I know about the 80-20 rule is because I applied it from how you develop yourself. It's 80% your responsibility and 20% of your manager. And that is a paper that I wrote at Apple. So it's very important to me that I talked about the 80-20 split, that Donald Trump is literally owning everything, that The Paris Climate Accords, 80-20 rule. We spend trillions, they don't spend enough. NATO, not putting the right amount of money into it, and countries literally only spending 1.5% of their budget versus the 3% that they agreed to. Ukraine, that 3 years is enough, and we need to stop wasting the money. To audit the government and make sure that they're balancing the budget. These are all 80-20 policies, and Donald Trump just grabs the most popular shit down the top 1 through 25 of the most agreed upon things in the United States, and he simply just owns the right side and he owns the libs. Because that's what he's doing. Mel, help us out. What are we missing? Then Amy.
Well, you're not missing anything. I just want to know where Justice Roberts is going to fall on the side of the cases that are going to come to him about all these deportations and whatever, knowing that he appointed this Boxberg or Boesberg or whatever his name is to the FISA court, who signed off on the Donald J. Trump investigations and surveillance. So Roberts is compromised on the surveillance of Donald Trump because he signed off on all these 11 judges on the FISA court. And now this guy is now pushing this immigration bullshit, whatever, and trying to stop flights and blah, whatever, which is crap. Donald is totally within his scope to get rid of these people from your country. And I just don't know where Justice Roberts is going to fall on this.
Listen, I just want to make a point. I want to make a point here real quick. And I'm sorry, but we're in legal constitutional law, and this is my baby. This Supreme Court has been pro-Trump. And I understand everyone's turning against Roberts and turning against Amy Coney Barrett. They are allowed to have dissenting opinion against Trump. They stood with us on abortion. They stood with us on gun laws. They stood with us on voter registry. They stood with us on border. The razor wire in Texas, they gave them a loophole to put it back up. This Supreme Court has been very pro-Trump. I disagree with the latest decision. Everyone knows I disagree with it. But right now, they're running like a 92% pro-Trump. And I think jumping and abandoning the court is a little early. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. But for people to assume that illegals don't have constitutional protection, I'm sorry, folks, they do. And it sucks, but that's what our founding fathers did. So the Italians and the Germans and the French and the Hungarians and the Koreans and the Japanese that came here that we're all made from, and we came into and saw the Statue of Liberty, and we went to Ellis Island. Yeah, went to Ellis Island. When we weren't arrested, because of these protections. Amy, last thought. Mel, give me 30 seconds, and we're done.
My last thought is when our families came here, I'm going to go out on a limb here and just say they weren't committing atrocities like murder or rape and violating children and things like that.
That's not true.
So,
that's not true. That's not true. We had Italian immigrants that came over here. We had Irish street gangs that came over here. We had bootleggers that came in, gamblers, prostitution. A lot of things came over from Europe that were absolutely illegal. There are bad cases in all situations. But to say that we didn't have mobs come in from Europe, we did.
I mean, I'm talking specifically about us here, like these.
No,
like,
the mafia
not in general.
came in through that.
What?
She's saying the mafia came in. Yes, Mel was saying the mafia came in. Yeah, I'm Italian.
But not just mafia, but Irish gangs, bootleggers, strong arm robbers. They had. There's other nationalities, but they did have Haitians come here. They did have multiple Africans come over here. They had a lot of smuggling here. Human smuggling came in. People just think that crime started with this border problem, and it's not true. Organized crime has been around since we've started our country. I'm not supporting these people. What I'm saying is that most immigrants who come here are not trying to break the law. There are some very good people who come in. But if you break our law by jumping the border, you have committed a crime. And you need to be held accountable, just like I need to pay a jaywalking ticket. It may seem insignificant to you, but I can go to jail and have a bench warrant out for me if I have enough of them. Same with a parking ticket. It's not fair for people to break the law coming into our country and not expect to be held accountable. Ames,
1,000.
And I'm not disagreeing with you, Amy. I know what you're saying. It's a very vast difference. But there was a lot of crime that came over from Europe. A lot.
Oh,
Yes. I was literally speaking specifically, but about our the us, like right here. I wasn't talking in general terms. Maybe I wasn't clear on that. But no, I
What do
agree
you mean
with you.
us? Like you and me
Yeah.
and oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
But
Can I just be honest? I had a lot of Irish who came over here that created havoc in New York and created havoc in New Hampshire and beat up people who wouldn't join unions. So, and that's in my bloodline.
I'll just
It's
take
just
me
you.
then.
You're the only
My
good one.
family's awesome.
I love you, kid. Mel, put a bow on this. Help us see what we're missing.
no, you're 100%. Like, crime has come into your country and our countries both at the same, almost simultaneously, whatever. We have to overcome it, but we also have to have protections for all of us now. Like this, like it has to stop. Like, you can't have this rampant stuff, these out of control judges that from all over the whatever in these little tiny jurisdictions be able to stop the government from stopping the crime.
Right.
And that's my biggest thing. It's like all these little tiny judges, like from bumfuck nowhere, going to say, "Oh, I'm going to stop a flight." Well, no, you can't. You can't. That's not how this rolls, and it shouldn't be how it rolls. They shouldn't have these. They shouldn't have the authority to be able to stop this stuff.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
Yeah, that's my bull.
We love you, Mel. We appreciate it. How are you feeling? Go ahead, Amy.
Sorry, I just saw this about Israel and us. Sorry.
Tell me what
Mel.
happened. Amy, Mel, hey, hold on.
Mel, you
kid.
go first.
No, I want to hear this.
I stopped in at a pub that I got Wi-Fi. My mom is in the hospital, whatever. As I know, I'll let you guys know, whatever. I stopped into the pub to take a breather and whatever, and then I got Wi-Fi so I did, and I called in, whatever. But yeah. So I'm dealing with that situation. So I appreciate your time and
we love you. We
love you.
Tell your mom we love her. Hey, we got all those pictures. We'll send you something so you can see. I know you care about that stuff, and we miss you and love you. And then you got to check out the new. You got to check out the new Ash Kicker shirt for the dog. We got one to go with Yenny, so you got to check that out too. Okay.
And I just want to say, Mel, you are so loved because you've come up a lot this weekend, and just we just love you so much, and we're just all hoping everything works out for you and your mom and everything. So we love you.
Yeah.
I love all of you guys.
And we don't fault you for being Canadian. So we love you. Bye.
we overlook that.
We overlook it. Bye. Folks, we are past we're in the 9:30. We are 198. We are well into overtime, and I still have a couple topics. I got to get this out. Got to get donations going. Help us out here. We're $100 short.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled our funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time. And we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or Mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation, we appreciate you more than words can say.
Well, we lost Olivia for the night. She has to take care of something with the kids because kids are kids and they always need parental love. Amy, you are well over your time. You got to go.
It's fine. I don't know when this happened. I just got the update. So it says it's today. I just got this maybe a couple minutes ago, but it says that Israel just resumed the war with Gaza with a bunch of massive airstrikes. I don't know. Maybe I'm behind on the times. Just getting my
this is what I told people was going to happen based upon what was going on with the Houthis, that the ceasefire is over. the United States and Israel are essentially going to destroy all terrorist groups inside the Middle East. They're going to complete what happened with ISIS and Al Qaeda. They are going to hunt and kill all of these groups. So there is no safe haven for Hezbollah. Might be the only ones that are safe because Lebanon has pretty much went dark. But IRGC in Syria, the JIP, Houthis. We already know what's happened to Hamas. Any remnants of ISIS or ISIS-K, they're all going to die. Good. Get them all. I mean, let's just do it. Let's just wipe them out, right? Let's wipe them out so we can have a Middle East peace deal and we can save $150 billion a year. And then let's go ahead and get Ukraine taken care of. But this doesn't surprise me. It's time for these people to die. So, yay. Good. I feel like I'm going to Disneyland. Olivia, you need to get the hell out of here, Amy.
I don't need to. If you want me to go, I can. My kids are in bed and Jason's working on stuff. So
I don't want you to, I really want you to go, but I just wanted to check on you and see how you're doing.
Totally hang out.
Good. Let's get
We'll go
to
in
it.
like 30 minutes though, because I will be like hitting a wall because it's 9:30.
No,
so.
I'm going to hit a wall too. I'm exhausted. So the only thing I'm worried about is donations. I don't know where we stand.
I have no idea.
So if you guys have not had a chance or have had a chance, please help us out. Let's hit this son of a gun. I would appreciate it. I don't know where we're at. Literally, I have no idea. So
It says 198.08, which is 66%. I don't know if that's accurate.
no, I'm aware of that. I just don't know
Yeah.
what we've done and what we haven't. So hopefully Olivia comes back and updates us. But folks, all I can ask is that we're going to have to turn off the show by the time Olivia probably gets back before she updates us. So if you have not had a chance to donate, please help us out. I still have to go over the Elon Musk intercept on the ISS space station, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Right now, we're going to talk quickly about people making threats about the President of the United States. Here is one. Here I have an audio clip. Take a listen.
Get this man out of here now. But if that doesn't happen, and we're not promoting it for 1 second, but if that doesn't happen, there will be violence. Yes. And these people had the opportunity to stop it.
Wow. That sounds like an ultimatum. And I will not
Sounds
have
like
any damn ultimatums applied to me. This is where we're headed. This is what happens when you oppose genocide in America. It's ridiculous. This is not how you do it. These are not peaceful. These are mobs. These are gangland style mobs. These people have no right to protest because it's not a protest. These are violent incursions. This is what some people called a insurrection on one side. But here, this is democracy. This is not democracy. Watch this. It'll make you sick.
What are you doing?
Listen, maybe I'm wrong, but wouldn't
Doubtful.
shooting one of them in the leg just, is that a breach of Constitution? Just whoops. I didn't mean to. I thought that was my taser. Can we do something? Can these fucking people, it's going to take one thing to get them all scattered and go home. Just fire a gunshot up in the air. Enough. We don't have to be like China. This doesn't need to be Russia. This doesn't need to be the Congo. But this also doesn't need to be a Benny Hill movie either. When does the line cross between peaceful protest and offending people's delicate sensibilities? Because these people are not warriors. They're
not peaceful.
They're fucking nerds. Look at some
They
of the
are.
people in these pictures. It's all white people
Yes.
who are pissed off. Look at this douche plow, right? Look at this fucking chubby bunny. Look at this person wearing a fucking Vietnam hat. Look at this guy with the freaking cut where he has no sideburns. Fatty. Some guy bringing a conga. This guy's got a freaking bill cap that's up in the air like a homosexual skateboarder. Looks like these guys are dorks. They're dorks.
Would like to say, I don't know if this has come out yet because, a lot of the park people were fired, the park police, park rangers, a lot of them were fired.
Yep.
And I think this is going to have a lot of blowback because it's like, oh, well, if we had more park police, well, what are they protesting? The firing of the park police? Or what are they protesting here? And if you're going to have a tie-dye peace flag and you're going to act like a hippie, then you should actually be peaceful. You were like, that lady was like in someone's face. I don't know, man. I'm kind of with you. I don't like to see the violence or anything like that. But these park police, like, they're not military. They're not even like, I'm not sure if they're not real police, but they're not. They're either probably retired or they couldn't get into the academy.
Right. Or they work at Starbucks and they're just trying to fill, a couple hours in to get a couple pops. But the thing is that all these are just Antifa people who dressed up in PLO shit. That's all they are. It's just the same people. And they don't have anything to do. It's like the movie PCU where they're like, what are we protesting today? And she's like, do you need a sign? She's like, choom. It's an automatic one. I brought my own. And it's like they just whatever's available today. I'm just mad about something. What is it? I don't know. It's just a thing today. They don't understand that if they were over there, every single Muslim extremist would rape them and fuck their skulls as they decapitate their heads. They have no idea and this isn't just some random thing. You go to pretty much any place south of Gaza. You go to any place northeast of Jerusalem, and your ass is dead. I mean, you're talking about an anti-Christian sentiment all the way from Iran down to Egypt, down to Yemen. And if you are on the eastern side of Israel, you're toast. And the only place you're accepted in those areas is Israel, is certain places in Saudi Arabia or Kuwait. But go to Syria. Go to Egypt, go to Yemen, go to Jordan, go to United Arab Emirates, go to Morocco, for God's sakes. You think that you're going to be able to walk down a dark corridor or go past, you want to talk about a sundown town.
Well,
if your ass will be disemboweled. And anyone who's spent time over there, fuck you, you've never been there. I love these people. No, what do you know? You're just some angry white guy. Who's been there, you stupid pricks? And a lot of veterans on this show have been there. We have fought there. We have tried to change the culture in the community, just like every other stupid fucking country who finally learned that just nuking them from afar is the only true option on how to interact with Muslims. I'm sorry.
I'm with you. Maybe, do we need to bring back re-education camps? I don't know. It's a little controversial, but let me just say this. I'll just say this. I'm joking. Obviously, I'm joking.
No, I get, no. Let's just bring up some showers. Why don't you? Jeez Louise.
I'm just saying.
I know. It's a joke.
It is truly a joke because I feel like in the United States, we've always been fairly progressive. I feel like we have always been on the good guys side. And I feel like for the past 10 years or so, we're not anymore. And we're letting other cultures dictate our belief systems. We're letting them re-educate our people, our children.
Right.
We're falling into this trap. And it's like, wow, are you just not able to go, wow, this,
No, they don't care. They don't. No. They believe that white men, that our founding fathers were white cock slave owner oppressors, that the U.S. government is a capitalistic and essentially an amalgamation of Caesar and Hitler and Mussolini and Genghis Khan, that we're imperialists and occupiers, that the Jews and the Christians run everything, and that we're the evildoers in the world. So therefore, Muslim extremists like ISIS or ISIS-K or Al-Qaeda or the Muslim Brotherhood or JIP, whatever it is, those people are freedom fighters. They've turned terrorists into freedom fighters because they really truly believe that the U.S. is that bad. I don't know what to say, but I do know that we need to take a break. Liv, you have some donations. Just crank them out.
Thank you.
Baby cakes.
Sorry.
No,
Motherhood calls.
You did your job. You did your job. Did you get the kitchen done?
Hayden actually got most of it done. There's
Did
barely
you get my
anything
pot
left.
pie made?
Yes, that was the most important thing.
My yogurt?
You got frozen yogurt.
Did you get my bunny slippers?
You got frozen yogurt in the
The little ears, my bunny slippers?
I think Ash ate them.
Fucking dog. Folks, we are going into one of our last segments. Be right back.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support, folks. I know we got a bunch of donations. Olivia is, slacking off. We're waiting.
Sorry, my earpiece fell off. I can't put it in my ear.
Right. Chuck Schumer. Oh, shit.
Oh.
Hold on. What the? Seriously. It's not my night. It's just not my night. Okay. So you guys know that Chuck Schumer signed the continuing resolution. Also, like 11 Democrats. CJ Jenkins, 2110. What was the alcohol of choice on Friday night? Tell him.
It was Blanton's.
Whew, so good. Now, it's possible that we drank to this level on Friday. It's possible that the rest evaporated. It could be that I may have had a few drinks, but it's good, and it's smooth, and it's tasty, and I am not sharing it with anyone else. That was delicious.
This next person is a new donor.
New donor.
It's always exciting.
Sorry for the language. Anyone doesn't like the language, we're sorry. We're trying really hard. Great show, Lynn Stockel. Thanks, Lynn. That's a nice thing to say. What a nice gal. Lynn Stockel. What a strong name. Stockel. We know that the continuing resolution has been passed. Republicans keep winning. And remember what I told you? And I said there is not a chance in hell that the Democrats will lock down the government, because what it will do is allow Donald Trump to go ahead and pretty much axe everything that he doesn't want without the process of emotional platitudes from the left and all this other stuff. It was just a kiss of death. But I want to show you something. I was thinking, you okay? Hey, stay tough, okay? Hey, you're a man. Be a man. It gets hard sometimes. We don't get to break down for it. I love you. Hey, I'm proud of you. You bust your ass, and I know how hard you work. You understand? Can you slap it? Give me some skin. Get out of here. I love you. Hey, remember how I taught you to wear your hat? Get out of here. I'll get you a haircut this weekend, hippie. All right. He's turning into a good young man. Very good.
He really is.
He was trying to wait until 9 o'clock when we're supposed to be off the show, and he was like, I can't wait anymore.
Yeah.
So I told him, I was like, if that's ever the case, then it's 9 o'clock. I'm like, just come get me.
Yeah. All right. So I remembered something, and I'm like, why would Bobby Richardson 103.48 just because Bobby?
Thank you, Bobby.
You, Bobby. We love you.
You know what? I think.
Where does Bobby live? We gotta invite her out. Like,
well, I've told her that I am doing something really cool for her. We're gonna autograph, like, she wants a hoodie and 2 shirts and a tank top, and we've done it. We're all gonna autograph it, but that's the least we can do. But there's a couple people that I want to like name something after for the show, and maybe what I might do is I might do my donations this year for Travis Manion in their names.
That
Or
would be
something.
wonderful.
Just something, because they make the show go round, man. Without everybody, but without there's like 10 people that really give a lot, and you guys are just everybody. It doesn't matter. You guys are all awesome, and it takes a village. 342.66, especially with what I had to pay for freaking food. Texas Roadhouse. Whew. Moving on.
That's good. I've been there in so long.
I thought it was better than Chop House. It was delicious.
Really good.
And they didn't
I'm like,
didn't have a golden calf for us to worship.
I didn't have to sacrifice my kidney and my
hungry.
firstborn.
I don't think I've ever eaten that much food at that restaurant before.
It was good.
If you are in our local area and you do go to the Texas Roadhouse in Northern Virginia, I'm sure there's only one
was
that I've ever
good.
seen. Ask for Jimmy, because
Jimmy's so sweet. I took Jimmy up.
Jimmy
was the
I fell in
best.
love with him. I love him.
Jimmy got a $38 tip. That's how good Jimmy was. Jimmy was excellent, and he we like to joke around. He was laughing.
He was the best.
All right, so I started to do the math and started thinking about it, and I'm like, why the hell would Chuck Schumer go so easy for Trump like this? And then I remembered something you all forgot: the Al Smith dinner.
I knew that it was Obama.
Do you remember? No. That's why Trump ran. But do you remember how Chuck Schumer was the only Democrat to show up, got a seat of power next to Trump, and laughed and joked around and punched Trump in the arm, and they got around like best of buddies, and it was the weirdest farking thing. Watch again. Liv, you're off screen. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. I used to think there's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris. Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all, because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. Every one of those people is voting for me. There's a group called, but if you really wanted Vice President Harris to accept your invitation, I guess you should have told her the funds were going to bail out the looters and rioters in Minneapolis, and she would have been here, guaranteed she would have been here. Guaranteed. But if you Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
So I always thought that was super strange. And I'm like, Schumer hates Trump. And then just a little bit before, he called everybody bastards. And I gotta just say that there are times that this uniparty thing is so fucking obvious that these guys all go to the same school. They all live in the same places. They all go to the same yacht club. They all drink the same liquor. They all dress the same. And they are just one giant dick fest party. And I'm not saying Trump is that way. What I'm saying is, I don't think this dissension is as real as we make it out to be. I think they let Americans do the fighting, and behind closed doors, they may get heated once in a while, but a lot of this is kind of like, it's your time up. Because you notice it's never 3 or 4 people who are all outlandish. It's always one at a time. It's either Mitch McConnell is just being a jerk, or Marjorie Taylor Greene pops up, or, you know, all of a sudden you get AOC says, but they all like systematically have their time in the sky for a year or two, and then they go by the wayside and disappear. Schiff is a perfect example versus Raskin right now is the new hitman. It looks like those guys are starting to go down, and Schumer has no respect. So now they're starting to prop up AOC as possible Senate Majority Leader, run for Senate. These things are all controlled by this dirty, disgusting Washington. But to see him laugh at Trump and actually buddy with him, you have to ask yourself the question, is it just one big giant dick fest?
It's probably all for show. Well, not all for show, but it's probably a lot for show.
Thank you, Paul, for the big things to come. Can't wait. Paul, you're the best. Go ahead, Libby.
I think a lot of it might be for show. I'm pretty sure some of them actually hate each other. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm pretty sure there's some Democrats who hate Democrats and Republicans who hate Republicans. Probably some Democrats who like some Republicans more than like some Democrats. But I think they do it a lot for show because I think that's what they think the American people want. No, I want my group of politicians to get along and run the country.
Right. Well, that's what I think that's what we want intrinsically, but deep down, I think everybody wants to see blood. Like I think, like, can you imagine if people started getting handcuffed? Do you think anyone would say you should stop? This needs to stop. No, I think everybody wants the ambulance crash. I think they think all people are crooked. I think people despise Washington. And if you look at the favorability numbers, that's what it says. Amy, any thoughts on this before we get to Musk?
I mean, we live a stone's throw from Washington. I know very closely firsthand.
Right.
Very a lot of things, and a lot of it is for show, and a lot of it is also true. It's like high school. There's the cliques. There's different cliques. Like truly, there are different cliques. There are the people who can go to any clique and get along with everybody. Then there's like the jocks and the nerds. It's like truly like high school. So yes to all of it, and I am here for the drama, but also I'd prefer to just get along. Can we all just
I want to throw some people in jail. By the way, the John F. Kennedy files will be released tomorrow. Nice. I have word that, and I would not say this source unless I was 100% sure. I am 100% sure. They'll be released tomorrow. That is what I'm getting from a very trusted source.
There's a reason why Jerry Springer was popular. Yeah. Because people secretly like to see that. And it's kind of sad.
Well,
that would be considered a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, the only problem is every time they do it, it hurts us.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, yep. 80,000 pages. So, folks, I will be very busy, and you can expect a Tuesday show full of John F. Kennedy tomorrow. 80,000 pages. I am anticipating getting that a little earlier. So, holy shit. I went through 14,000 pages in 4 hours. It'll take me a day and a half to go through 80,000 pages. But see, what I've done is that I'll just put it into a database and I'll do a search index because there's things I want to search for and to kind of qualify what I'm already thinking. But trust me, I'm going to read every freaking one of them. It's going to take me a while though. Be right back.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
I am so tired and so sick of idiots. From flat earthers like Amy, and all these people, they make me sick. Everyone's like, "This is CGI, man. It's CGI."
I will say though, when I first saw it, I'm like, where'd they get the video from? Is it like attached to something? Is there a drone with it? Like,
I just can't. Yeah, I'll show you. Okay, guess what everyone said? They're like, I thought the Earth only spins at 1,000 miles an hour. I thought the spin ratios the overall, yes, but the movement of the Earth and the spin rate of the Earth is only 1,007 miles an hour.
Yeah, but if you're in space, like it's not going to look. Do you know what I mean? Like
well, no, if you're geosynchronous with it, it would move very, very slowly. But if you use a time lapse, it wouldn't. Geosynchronous orbit is ISS is in geosynchronous orbit with the Earth. So, but why is this moving so fast? I mean, watch. Well, it's moving so fast. Well, it's a time lapse, dipshit.
Like Santa Claus, a little bit like his sleigh.
Yeah, but it's not. Where that
Reminds me of Red One.
Yes. This is here. Let me just get Olivia in here because it's really weird hearing her without seeing her. And trust me, seeing her is always a good thing. Whoops. Okay, you're gonna have to deal with that. Okay, so this is Dragon is what it's called. This little module, and these lights. Why are there lights in space so it doesn't hit? Those lights are used for alignment. There's one center light, which is obviously to refract light into the docking column in order for alignment purposes. It's so fast, it would have exploded. Okay, it's CGI. It's not CGI. It is a wide-angle fisheye lens because there's no curvature. You can't see the curvature of Earth from this altitude, folks. I'm just letting you know. You can't. This is a fisheye. And the guy who jumps out of the Red Bull, that's not the curvature of the Earth either. That's a fisheye lens. You can't see the curvature of Earth from the troposphere. It's too big. And anyone who's jumped at 30,000 feet, which none of you have, or if you have, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? But the good news is that this is not fake. This is actually, you can see the docking column right down here. The docking column, and this is coming in, and this is a retrofitted lens that was put on this in one of the previous missions. And it simply drops altitude. You're going to see some flashes here. People are like, there's more lights. That's not lights. That's ohms burn. Ohms burn are small air pressure releases that happen in space that control pitch, yaw, and overall altitude, acceleration, deceleration, etc. See this? See those little burns? They're all making minor adjustments. Okay, then it locks on. This is real. This isn't fake. It's totally fake, man. No, it's not, because you can see it from the Earth. Go outside in a very non-dark or dark, very little light pollution, and look to the north-northeast, and you will see it go by every 17 minutes or so, or whatever the math is. Okay? This is another view of it.
Paul? Standing by for...
And yes, Amy, her second job is a air traffic controller for NASA, because it sounds just like her.
There is the chop call. Standing by for initial contact of Dragon to the International Space Station.
And that's how slow it was going. The entire docking process you saw in the video was like 20 seconds, but the whole process took like 15 minutes. And that's because they are moving at a snail's pace, just like Interstellar and everything else, because moving fast in space is not a good idea. All right?
These dynamic operations. And I love this sort of night vision-esque view here.
We're going to watch this fast. There it is. There they are. See? Whoop, going slowly. This is it. If you want to watch it, I'll put it up on my page.
Again, completing that handover period, 9:04 p.m.
Okay. And there's Amy's
we are
sister.
Expecting to hold for a few.
And here is the fun video that we all can't wait for, where Dragon, SpaceX, cracks into the ISS, and the 4 astronauts who navigated Dragon, which will relieve the stuck astronauts. The stuck astronauts and 1 pilot will go down, and 3 people take their place and stay up in the International Space Station. If I was those people, I'd be like, fuck no, I ain't gonna go up there. But they are, and here it is. I bet it smells funky in there.
How glad are you just to see
Onishi, the first Crew 10 astronaut, through the hatch?
Like, she's getting pregnant for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Followed by Peskov. Nicole Ayer is the first of the Fly's newest class of astronauts to enter. And last, commander of Crew 10, Anne McLean.
When were they supposed to come home?
a year ago.
Been
Yeah.
stuck up there for a year.
So what's it going to be like for them when they come home?
A lawsuit.
Yeah. I
Back
think
pay,
I don't
because
think it'll be a
there's a
lawsuit. I think they'll
clause.
get so much money. I think they will just pay
yeah,
them off. Like,
there's
there
a
won't be a
clause.
lawsuit.
There's a clause, by the way. So I'm not going to go into specifics. I will just tell you, like, there are clauses. If this happens every day, you're separate. You know, if this mistake, there's Jesus. Cheese and rice. Sorry.
Cheese and rice.
Jesus. I did catch it. I said Jesus, so that's
You did.
okay. But there are clauses that give them indemnity and protections and stuff, and that's none of our business, and who really cares? But these people are going to be able to write books. They're going to get Netflix movies. They're all millionaires. So they're going to do the tour circuit. They're going to be on every talk show. They'll all write books, and they're going to be fine. But the people who are saying this is fake, the people who are like, this isn't real, you live a miserable existence, and your life has no meaning. And I just hope that maybe you could just pull your head out of your ass. If everything's a conspiracy theory, then nothing is. And that's the way you live your life. And people are like, the Earth's flat. I'm like, dude, you literally have no life. And it's just like, dude, this is not that unbelievable, because the ISS has been up there for decades. Elon Musk has done 200 recovery operations through SpaceX itself. The new rockets you're seeing that are going up, the Falcons and the Talons and stuff, those are experimental. But this shit is like, for him, this is nothing. This is like going down to the local AM PM and picking up a pack of cigarettes and picking up a wonderful Slurpee. Amy, go ahead and say something, because I don't have any more
I'm
energy.
just going to add to the conspiracy theory because everyone says it sounds so much like me. And I'm just going to say, how do you know it's not?
That's right. It's her clone. Duh.
It's really not
her
me.
Clone. It's her clone.
Look, I love a conspiracy. Like, I do. I love them. And there are certain that I can buy into, but this is not one of them. And I saw the first video and I was like, I was like, is this real? Because I was like, this looks like CG. It looked computer generated, like AI. But I, like you, did the research and saw that, yes, it was sped up. And it was easy to prove that it was not. So,
yeah, because going outside and seeing it is really hard. Guys, you can see satellites right now. Just look up.
Not Earthlink. What's it called? Starlink.
Well, you don't need Starlink. Your phone, you can do it, but you can actually, with a human eye. Folks, if you haven't done it, go drive out to a semi-dark area away from a major city and look up. Let your eyes adjust. Don't smoke a cigarette. Don't have any caffeine. It's bad for your eyesight. Look straight up, and you will see a satellite every few seconds. And it is a little tiny little dot, a little refraction bouncing off the sun because its apogee is high enough, and it goes across this, and it's flying 1,000+ miles an hour, because those are non-geosynchronous satellites. There are autonomous satellites and there's geosynchronous satellites. No, it's not, Matt. It's space dust from aliens. It's the chemtrails.
I remember going to Hawaii. I used to date a physicist who worked. He didn't work for NASA. He worked for Lockheed, or I don't even know, somebody else, not NASA. And I got to travel a lot with him. And we went to Hawaii one time to watch one of the satellites they put into orbit. I don't know, but you could see it, but it was not that cool. In my opinion, I'm not a physicist who worked my life on that. So
I don't think it's cool or not cool. I just think that a lot of people are like, it's impossible to see a satellite from space because it would be too small. And I'm like, is that why you can see a flashlight on the open water for 7 miles? Light source. Light travels at a different speed, different distance. It's not that hard to figure out, folks. I know it's hard for you. But just because you have a hard time conceptualizing doesn't mean it's not real. But I swear to God, I put this up and people are like, fake CGI.
Of course they did.
There is no, we never landed on the moon. Some guy's like, Sasquatch is real. I'm just like, what the, do you guys just do this to just fuck with people? Because I'm serious, it's working. Liv, close us out. Get us out of here.
On this topic or just in general for the evening?
Anything.
Okay, so.
Because we're going. I'm done.
Okay.
I need my yogurt and I need to sleep.
I am asking for prayers for one of our listeners, Jerry Kruger from Wimkin, who is also a podcaster on Wimkin. He has a show on Wimkin as well. His wife just had heart surgery.
Oh, my
and
God.
She is not having a very good go of it right
Is
now.
this Jerry?
Yeah, not having a very good go of it right now.
Is Jerry listening right now?
He was about 40 minutes ago when I was talking to him about this, so I'm not sure if he's still on. But yeah, so I guess they've been married for 47 years. He told me. But yeah, so she's not having a very good time right now, having a hard time after her surgery. So I told him I would ask for prayers because we've got a good prayer network in here. So and
Jerry,
it seems to do wonders when you all pray for everyone.
Yeah.
So please pray for her. He did not tell me her name, but just Jerry Kruger from Wimkin, his wife.
See if Kruger can get us her name and we'll have everyone say a prayer. We don't need that. I think everyone can. I think God's all powerful. He can figure it out for us. But we'll say a prayer and God bless Jerry. We hope the best for you, man.
And he's great. He's a great
guy.
guy.
I love him. He's great.
He came to me one time and he goes, I have a lot more followers than you on Wimkin. Every time the show's on, share it on my page so my followers know it's on. So I do that every time we start. So he's a really cool guy. He comes on and
it's great.
Yeah, he posts funny memes throughout the show and he's a good guy. So I don't know if he's still on, but if he comes on, I will.
Yeah, well,
you know.
we'll do it in our way, and I would love to get her name just so we can do it properly and do it right. That would mean a lot. Amy, give us your one.
Jerry, if you're listening, I will be saying a prayer for your wife. I will add her to our prayer groups. We do have them because the power of prayer is amazing. Matthew and I'm just kidding. I am kidding.
Which saint should I pray to, Amy?
No, we just pray to Jesus. We have a prayer intention book at church.
Saint Jesus? I've never heard of that saint. Saint Jesus? Is that who it is?
Yeah,
you started it. I was fine. You drew first blood. I was done. I was done.
But the power of prayer is extremely powerful. And I have a lot of prayer groups. I have a lot of different prayer groups that I pray with, and we collectively come together. And
why don't you just lead it right now? Let's go.
Yeah. All right. I'm a Catholic, so we do the sign of the cross. Bless us, everyone who is listening to this right now. And in Jesus' name, we ask you to please help Jerry Kruger's wife. She's having a hard time healing right now from her surgery. And we do ask you, God, to put your hand on her and everyone around her that's helping her heal on this journey. We ask you this in all of your faith and loving kindness. We just ask you to come upon her and her family, heal her, give her the strength to keep going on, and give her all the blessings, joy, and comfort and peace that you have. And we ask you this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I am the worst at praying publicly, so
better than me.
I'm going to pray for you tonight for sure.
Thank you. I need help. You should pray for me to be a better prayer leader.
Oh, I've got it. I'm definitely going to say some prayers for you tonight. Yeah, sure.
Lots of hand gestures with those prayers too.
Yeah, Jerry, we love you. This mother should go to jail. It's ridiculous. Liv, are you watching this?
Yes.
This mother should be in prison.
1, go.
That's a real baby?
Seriously.
That's not a real baby. That's a baby doll, right?
Well, I don't understand why this mother didn't even try to put her arms out and attempt to catch this child.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna.
This is ridiculous. I mean, this is
not
why
a real baby.
This is why it's always important to be armed, folks. Just remember.
It's not a real baby.
1,
security
go.
is real.
Baby doll.
Such a doll.
give her a hand for effort.
Oh my gosh, that's so
It was a baby doll.
horrible.
Because the baby's neck stayed straight. It's a baby doll.
Like, I was like, do they even know she doesn't have any arms? Is
Yes.
anyone even going to? Okay, I was just waiting for it. Jerry, God bless, man. And we have our own way of praying, but we don't mind joining prayer. We're not very good at leading it. We're all learning the process. But Amy's going to give me a link to how saints and you, how to pray properly in America today. And
give you a book of saints. We have like 8 books on saints here.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Which one do you want?
I love false prophets. So, so punchy. Can I tell you something? We had a chance to spend time with Amy, and
I'm worse
it was
than
fun.
they thought.
No, you're easy. It was so fun to see everybody together. And on the way home, I was driving just in the middle of the country and, deer. And I look over at Leroy and I said, so how long does it take for your tolerance of me to go away? Is it 24, 48, or 36 hours? She's like, about 36. I said, yeah, that's about right. That's about, but the people who love me the most, 36 hours is about enough. But the funny thing is Leroy's the same way. Because after 36 hours, I was ready for him to get the hell out of my house. But that's what happens when you have strong personality people. But with Amy, she's not like that. Like, I could see Amy every day for the rest of my life, and I would be, and this is a compliment, I would be okay with it because she's not obtrusive. She doesn't bother anyone. She's so positive.
That is a lie.
You are.
You told me I was so negative.
No, you're negative about yourself.
Yeah, that is true. I'm so
You're
negative.
No, you're horrible to yourself. You're just horrible to yourself, but you're very positive to everyone else, and you see the goodness in people. And that's that's the truth. With your strengths can become your weakness, and you are so over abundantly positive about everyone else that you are horrible to yourself. But so am I.
Yeah,
I am too. I can't take a compliment to save my life. See, watch. Give me a compliment. Go ahead. Watch what happens. Seriously, try this.
I thought that you were the most photogenic this weekend.
Oh, that's true though. So
It
that's
is, yeah.
Olivia was Olivia's looked pretty fucking good.
She was beautiful. I mean, everyone did. I think everyone looked amazing.
Was it the cold steel?
No.
Was that what it was? Was it?
I
the
thought
cold
my blue steel pose was actually better than yours, and so.
Oh no! When I leveled up,
I had the best sultry look.
I leveled it up with Magnum. I don't know.
My blue steel pose with like my lips puckered out. Like I thought that one in particular.
Oh yes, that one was good. I'm so bummed that was it Leroy or Matt that said do the kitty claws and you did it. It might have been me. I don't know.
Wow.
I am so bummed that Barry didn't get that. I for sure thought he was going to take a picture. I was really hoping.
It's okay.
I don't know, man. Blue steel. I mean, those piercing baby blues, those eyes came out. It depends what I'm wearing. They change color. Like right now they're green. So my eyes change color. Listen, I wanted to say wonderful weekend. Thank you for the Donut and Friendly Show fans who have donated. You guys are awesome. We have hit goals so many nights in a row. I just stopped counting, but we do appreciate it. It does keep the show funded and keeps us going. If you have not had a chance, please stop by and head on over to the website and go pick yourself up a wonderful, brand new shirt that we just sent out to everybody. It should be in your email if you haven't seen it, but it is the
ash kicker.
The ash kicker. I'm looking for it. Hold on a second. The ash kicker shirt, our new shirt from our lovely dog, which ashes to ashes, woke to dust. The superhero ash kicker shirt, which you can get with the Yeti shirt. You can use code DUMB15 and get 15% off. Matt, your shoulders are so big. I know, Paul. Folks,
among other things.
That's true. Thanks for watching the Donut Friendly Show. We love you. Appreciate you, Amy. You look great tonight. I love your hair.
Sorry.
Good night. See you guys. Who's on tomorrow? Quick.
You and Leroy.
Good night. 7 o'clock tomorrow. Good night. See everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
This is is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.